Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Naruto. I sell jars in Konoha Village. Chapter 1. Miss, no, something big has happened. Konoha Village. The area where the Hyuga clan is located. A woman wearing the clothes of the Hyuga family hurriedly ran, her face full of anxiety. In the training ground, Hinata, who was training, stopped immediately when she saw the person running over, and looked over in confusion. What's wrong? This one is Hanabi's maid. Hanabi went out to play today and was followed by two maids. One of them ran back like this. Could something have happened? Thinking of this, Hinata's expression suddenly changed and she became nervous. He said hurriedly, "Is it Hanabi? What happened to Hanabi?" She actually took Hanabi out to play today, but because she wanted to practice ninjutsu, she didn't go. Unexpectedly, this maid from Hanabi would actually come over. Did you say something happened? Hinata instantly thought of Hanabi. But it shouldn't be, because Hanabi is also protected by ninjas. It's the second miss. The second miss has awakened a pair of Sharingan eyes. The maid who ran over swallowed her saliva and said, "Now Chuntao is protecting the second young lady and not letting the second young lady come out, so I hurriedly came to inform you, the eldest lady." She didn't know where Hinata Rizu was now, and she didn't have the right to go to Hinata Rizu's study. There are also ninjas stationed in Hinata and Hazu's study. After thinking about it, she thinks that the one she can best contact right now is Miss Hinata. What? Hearing this, Hinata's expression changed. Something really happened to Hanabi. But the next second, Hinata's expression was blank again. Hanabi awakens the Sharingan. Sharingan, isn't that exclusive to the Uchiha clan? How could something like this appear on Hanabi? Impossible. It is impossible for people without Uchiha blood to have the Sharingan. Hanabi is her younger sister. She is more talented than herself and has been appointed as the heir of the clan. How could Hanabi awaken the Sharingan? Really, miss? Seeing Hinata who was dumbfounded and shocked, the maid hurriedly said, "It's just that things were too urgent, so I hurried back and took a special route. We took the second lady shopping, but unexpectedly, the second lady went into a small jar shop, opened a jar, and a pair of Sharingan eyes were opened. The shopkeeper was very young, a handsome young man, wearing a simple robe. He said that the items in his shop could produce a variety of things, which attracted the second lady, and then the second lady opened the Sharingan eyes, and it's still 3 Magatama. Ah, hearing this, Hinata's face was dull and her mind was in confusion. Jar, open the Sharingan, and it's still 3 Magatama. Hinata was still a little confused when she was shocked. Why did Hinata Chunju's words make her head so messed up? Hanabi now has the Sharingan of the 3 Magatama. You have to tell Dad. No, my father is not here, I have to go find Hanabi first. Take me there. Without any hesitation, Hinata, who had some thoughts flashing through her mind, quickly said nervously, "Quickly. No matter what, the top priority is to find Hanabi first and not let others discover Hanabi's Sharingan." Because of this incident, Chunju came back immediately and told herself that she didn't come back with Hanabi because she was afraid of being bumped into on the road. Her father is not at home now, so she must go and bring Hanabi back. And you can't let others know what this Sharingan is. Immediately, Hinata followed Hinata Chunju and quickly moved towards the destination. When moving, he also used chakra to speed up and chose some remote routes. When Hinata quickly moved over with Hanabi's maid. The other side, the streets on the east side of Konoha Village. At the end of the street, there is an ordinary shop. A woman wearing the clothes of the Hyuga family was looking at the outside of the jar shop with a wary expression. Compared to this one, in the store, there is a delicate-looking little loli, with a petite figure, slanted eyebrows, and clear black and white eyes. She looks very cute and friendly. Astonishingly, it was Hanabi, the second young lady of the Hyuga clan. At this time, Hanabi was looking longingly at the handsome young man in front of him, about 17 or 18 years old, with a red face and said, "Brother Lin Mo, how did you do it? Okay, that's amazing." While speaking, Hanabi's eyes suddenly turned into Sharingan eyes, and 3 black commas were rotating in her eyes. "It has nothing to do with me, it mainly depends on your luck in opening the can." Lin Mo smiled faintly. You opened a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan, so you got this pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan. You can't control the Sharingan yet. You can try to control it. Otherwise, you will be emotional at any time. It's not good to open the Sharingan suddenly. Hold head high. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata Hanabi nodded obediently. The most urgent task is to learn to control the Sharingan of these 3 Magatama. Otherwise, it would be terrible if the Sanmagatama's Sharingan opens automatically due to emotions. As the second young lady of the Hyuga clan, Hanabi knows how important the Sharingan is. This matter must absolutely not be known to others. As for the fact that the shop owner knew it was okay, it was because the shop owner's jar shop was selling jars. Immediately, Hyuga Hanabi tried to control the Sharingan. However, as she controlled it, Hyuga Hanabi was a little distressed. It's so difficult. When she controlled the Sharingan herself, she couldn't control it accurately. When Hyuga Hanabi tried to control her 3 Magatama Sharingan in front of the jar shop, Hyuga Hanabi's maid, Hyuga Haruki, said respectfully to Lin Mo, "Shop owner, can you tell me your origins? Why is there a 3 Magatama Sharingan in this jar? And there is no need to transplant it, the second lady will merge it as soon as she touches it." Hyuga Haruki was very humble to the young man in front of her. In an era when the Uchiha were almost extinct, it was incredible that he could actually take out a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingans. You know, these are the eyes that countless ninjas dream of in the ninja world. But in the end, Hanabi got them. Even though Miss Hanabi is the second daughter of the Hyuga clan and has white eyes. But in her opinion, there are only benefits and no harm for her second daughter to get the 3 Magatama Sharingan. The problem is that even if others get the Sharingan, they should be transplanted. Instead of her second daughter touching it with her hand, she instantly has the 3 Magatama Sharingan. Before the eldest daughter came, she wanted to ask for some useful information. While asking, Hyuga Haruki looked at the cabinet behind Lin Mo. The cabinet has small grids, and in each grid there is a jar that looks ordinary. It is hard to imagine that the second daughter just got a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan because she knocked open one of the jars. This matter is incredible and subverts her 3 views. And the Sharingan does not need to be transplanted, it can be integrated with just a touch of the hand. She was shocked and confused. "I'm a shopkeeper selling jars." After hearing what Hinata Chunju said, Lin Mo smiled faintly and said slowly, "The purpose of opening a store is to do business and sell jars. There is not only the Sharingan in the jar, but also the Byakugan of your Hyuga clan, or the legendary Rinnegan. Only you can't imagine it, and you can't open it. Other blood successor limits are also available, and there are even special abilities that exceed the blood successor limits, psychic beasts, etc. Of course, this is good luck. If you have bad luck, then what you get out may be junk, such as a kunai or a soldier food pill." Lin Mo talked eloquently, and Hinata Chunju looked solemn as she listened. What the shopkeeper said was simply unbelievable and broke her cognition. He can even roll his eyes. If her second lady hadn't opened a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan, she would have definitely regarded Lin Mo as a liar. Looking at the second lady who was controlling the 3 Magatama Sharingan, Hinata Chunju was completely silent. What she encountered today really broke her cognition. "So, open a jar." Lin Mo chuckled. "You only need 100,000 taels to open a jar. Maybe you can also open the 3 Magatama Sharingan like Hanabi." "I don't have that much money." Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata Chunju had a look of emotion on her face. But the next second, he shook his head. "Besides, even if the Sharingan is opened, it will be a disaster for me. The most urgent task is to wait for the eldest lady to come over and then take Miss Hanabi back." What a shame. After hearing what Hinata Chunju said, Lin Mo shook his head, then turned to look at the jars on his counter. This ordinary jar costs 100,000 taels each, which is not too expensive. The maid of the dignified second lady of the Hyuga clan actually had no money to buy it, not even 100,000 taels. Looking at Hinata Hanabi who was trying to control her Sharingan, Lin Mo smiled lightly. "But I still sold one jar, which is pretty good. You can sign in and receive some ordinary jars for free every day. And he only needs to sell a jar, and he can get whatever the other party offers. At the same time, if you sell a certain amount of jars, you can also get an exclusive jar as a reward. He can get things to become stronger by opening exclusive jars. The first exclusive jar requires the sale of 100 regular jars. I've only sold one now, and there's still a long way to go. Aha! At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared at the door of the jar shop. Another figure followed closely behind. Miss. Seeing Hinata arriving, Hinata Shunju's eyes suddenly lit up and she quickly knelt down on one knee respectfully. No, you don't have to be so formal. Where is Hanabi? Hinata arrived and immediately looked at Hanabi. After seeing Hanabi, Hinata was completely relieved. It was just fine that Hanabi was fine. When Hinata looked at Hanabi, Linmo also looked at Hinata. Hinata is wearing a long coat and long trousers, which is a bit conservative and very modern. Although she is dressed a little conservatively, the girl is slim and graceful, and her glass-like eyes are more penetrating and attractive than a clear lake, making people feel good at the first sight. When Linmo looked at Hinata also saw Linmo and took a rough look at the store. In addition to a recliner, the entire store is a cabinet filled with dark jars. There are stairs not far away that lead directly to the second floor. Hinata's heart moved slightly when she saw Linmo for the first time. What a handsome young man, better looking than all the boys he saw in Konoha Village. It's hard to imagine that such a handsome young man would stay in this ordinary shop. Elder sister. Just as Hinata was looking at Linmo, Hanabi also saw Hinata's arrival and immediately ran over excitedly. Sharingan. Seeing Hanabi running over, with a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes in her eyes, Hinata's expression was completely moved. It's really just like what Hinata Haruto said. Hanabi has a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes. You know, even today's geniuses of the Uchiha clan don't have the 3 Magatama Sharingan. But now, a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes appeared on the members of the Hyuga clan. For a moment, Hinata was confused. Looking at Hanabi running in front of her, Hyuga Hinata picked up Hanabi in shock and looked at Hanabi's eyes carefully. For a moment, Hinata opened her eyes. It was indeed discovered that Hanabi's eyes were a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes. Hey, sister, I have Sharingan. Hanabi, who was being held by Hinata, looked excited. Look, it's still a 3 Magatama. After hearing Hanabi's words and looking at the 3 Magatama Sharingan in Hanabi's eyes, Hinata took a deep breath, suppressed the shock in her heart, and looked at Linmo. Only when you see it with your own eyes can you know how frightening it is for the Hyuga clan to have a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes appear on them. And all of this is because of the young man in front of him. She wanted to ask why there was such a thing as the Sharingan in the jar. And it's also a pair of 3 Magatama. As a member of the Hyuga clan, her father told her many things. It talked about the Sharingan in detail. So now Hyuga's mind is very confused, with many thoughts and doubts. She wants to ask, but she doesn't know where to start. After a long while, Hyuga took a deep breath and tried to calm her shocked heart. The most urgent thing is to solve the problem of Hyuga Hanabi first. A pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan appeared on the second lady of the Hyuga clan, which is not a good thing. Well, shopkeeper, can you remove this pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan? The next second, Hyuga hesitated and asked Linmo hesitantly. Although the 3 Magatama Sharingan is very powerful, Hinata knows from her father that the 3 Magatama Sharingan without Uchiha blood is a big burden. Especially for the few-year-old Hanabi, it is even more exaggerated. Although the 3 Magatama Sharingan is very powerful, Hyuga Hanabi will never show it when she fights against the enemy or goes on a mission in the future. Because once it is revealed, it will inevitably attract the attention of other high-ranking officials in the village. How could you, a member of the Hyuga clan, have a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan from the Uchiha clan? The Hyuga clan will definitely be in trouble at that time. Secondly, although the 3 Magatama Sharingan is powerful, if it is not used, its value is not as good as the Byakugan that Hyuga Hanabi originally possessed. Hanabi has a good talent, and her father designated her as the heir to the main family at a young age. For Hanabi, the Byakugan is the biggest help. But now she suddenly has a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan, which will inevitably suppress Hanabi's original talent, which is not a good thing. The 3 Magatama Sharingan can make other ordinary ninjas crazy. But for Hanabi, it is a burden. This burden must be abandoned. After all, it means trouble. So now she wanted to ask this young and good-looking shopkeeper if there was any way to remove the pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan. In Hinata's opinion, these 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes must be removed. But if the Sharingan is transplanted, what about Hinata Hanabi's original Byakugan? Thinking of this, Hyuga Hinata panicked, looked at Hanabi, and said quickly, "Hanabi, can you use your Byakugan now?" "Hinata Hanabi, don't lose your Byakugan just because you have Sharingan." "Yes." Hearing Hinata's words, Hinata Hanabi nodded, and the 3 Magatama Sharingan instantly turned into Byakugan. Seeing this scene, Hinata looked shocked. Now that Hinata Hanabi is like this, she can actually switch back and forth between the 3 Magatama Sharingan and the Byakugan. In this case, if Hanabi's Sharingan is transplanted, will the Byakugan disappear? Sure. At Hinata's shocked words, Linmo nodded, but if it is removed, it is a transplant. But now Hinata Hanabi has fused the Sharingan, and the Sharingan and Byakugan have been fused together. If Hanabi's Sharingan is removed, eyes and white eyes will naturally be removed. In Hinata Hanabi's case, the 3 Magatama Sharingan and Byakugan have been fused. The only advantage is that it can be swapped out at will, making it easy to hide. The bad thing is that if you remove the pair of Sharingan, the Byakugan will naturally be removed as well. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata frowned in distress. Still the worst she could think of. If Hanabi's Sharingan is removed, the Byakugan will be gone. This puts us in a dilemma. Then, the shop owner, didn't he remove the 3 Magatama Sharingan while leaving the Byakugan? After thinking about it, Hyuga Hinata looked at Lin Mo again, with a hesitant expression and whispered, "The Sharingan cannot appear in the Hyuga clan. Once it appears, it means trouble. This shop owner is so mysterious. Although he doesn't seem to have any chakra, if you look closely, he has a mysterious temperament. Since Hanabi can directly obtain a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan, there should be a way to cancel the pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan and keep the Byakugan. There's no way to eliminate it." Hearing Hinata's words, Lin Mo shook his head, which immediately made Hinata feel depressed. Is there no way? But really speaking, there is a way. The next second, Lin Mo changed the topic. Hearing Hinata's low mood, it was like riding a roller coaster. She immediately looked up at Lin Mo, with surprise and hope in her eyes. The shop owner has an idea. That's opening the can. Lin Mo looked at the counter behind him where ordinary jars were placed, and chuckled. There are all kinds of things in the jars, whether they are blood succession limited ninjutsu, divine weapons, or even tailed beasts, only you can't imagine it, but you can't open it. It's not impossible to get things or abilities that remove blood from the jar. The 3 Magatama Sharingan, to put it bluntly, is the blood successor's limit. There is something in the jar that can peel off the blood successor's limit. The jars he sells are not just things from the Naruto world. There is everything in the heavens and the world. The better the jar, the greater the chance of something good coming out of it. It is so easy to peel off the boundaries of blood inheritance. Open the can. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata's heart moved, and she looked at the ordinary-looking jars placed behind Lin Mo. It was because of this jar that Hanabi opened the 3 Magatama Sharingan. To solve it, you need to open the jar. If it hadn't been for the emergence of the blood succession limit such as the 3 Magatama Sharingan, Hinata would have definitely suspected that Lin Mo was not a liar. After all, how could something like the Sharingan appear in an ordinary jar like this? And it's also sold for 100,000 taels. Anyone can open it. Miss Second opened the Sharingan, reached out and touched it and it merged. At this time, Hinata Shunju quickly said, "There is no special process." She watched as Hinata Hanabi opened the jar. Unexpectedly, as soon as Hinata Hanabi opened it and touched it, Hinata Hanabi obtained the 3 Magatama Sharingan, which shocked her on the spot. Call. Hearing this, Hinata already knew the magic of this jar. Immediately take a deep breath and try to calm down. Looking at the handsome Lin Mo in front of him, Hinata quickly whispered, "Shopkeeper, I am Hinata from the Hinata family. This is the first time we meet. Please give me some advice." Hinata no longer dares to think about the mysterious origins of this shop owner. After all, being able to take out something like the Sharingan and get it by just touching it simply broke her cognition. Therefore, Hinata is very respectful and polite to the shop owner. Hello, Hinata. Seeing Hinata, who was serious, Linmo smiled lightly and said, as you can see, I am a shopkeeper who sells jars. I can also be regarded as a jar merchant. Can the owner introduce the jar to me? Hinata said softly. Although I already know, I still want to know more details. If you go into more detail, there's nothing. Linmo chuckled. The ordinary jars I sell cost 100,000 taels each. A regular jar. Hearing Linmo's words, Hinata paused and hesitated. Is there a better jar up there? Hinata's hanabi bloomed in an ordinary jar. It turns out that the shop owner has refined jars that are better than ordinary jars. Hinata didn't even dare to think about something better than the Sharingan blood succession limit. Certainly. Linmo nodded. That is an exquisite jar. Whether it is the price or the purchase qualification, you need to purchase a certain amount of ordinary jars before you can buy it. You can only open ordinary jars now. Shopkeeper, before I open the jar, I have another question. Hinata hesitated for a moment, then looked at Linmo seriously and asked softly, no matter who comes, can you come to the shop owner to buy a jar? The jar contains such good things as the blood successor limit. Shop owner, aren't you afraid of causing trouble? You know, this ordinary jar contains 3 Magatama Sharingan and other blood inheritance limits. If ordinary people knew that it only cost 100,000 taels to buy, they would definitely go crazy. After all, the blood inheritance limit represents a powerful ninja. Who doesn't want to be a ninja? But if you want to become a ninja, you must have talent. People without talent are not considered ninjas at all, and they cannot even learn ninjutsu. You can only learn physical skills. However, taijutsu is very difficult, and if you really want to fight against ninjutsu, you are still at a big disadvantage. The blood inheritance limit is the special skill that ninjas are born with. With the blood inheritance limit, you are naturally ahead of countless ordinary people and win at the starting line. However, there are too few people with blood inheritance boundaries. Most of the people with blood inheritance boundaries are from the same family. For example, her Hyuga clan, or Uchiha clan, etc., have special blood inheritance limits. Now that the shop owner is actually selling blood to inherit the realm, isn't he afraid of Konoha's top brass? Aren't the shopkeepers afraid of trouble? Or does the shop owner have the ability to suppress trouble? Even the Hokage-sama doesn't know about this little jar shop. Otherwise, why would there be no action? It's not a problem. When Hinata thought this, Linmo smiled faintly, but I will also say this common sense, no matter who you are, you can come to my place to open the jar, even if he is an ordinary person. Linmo said slowly. As for the blood succession limit, it is not considered a good thing in my store. There are too many abilities that are stronger than the blood succession limit. Whether it can be opened depends entirely on the person who opens it. Even I can't interfere with your luck. As for the trouble, since I dare to open this jar, I won't be afraid of any trouble. In this little jar shop, you are the absolute master. No matter who it is, they will only be suppressed by themselves when they come, and they will not be able to stir up waves. Something better than blood succession limit. Hearing Linmo's words, Hinata's face was stunned. Seeing how the shop owner spoke so naturally, it was obvious that he didn't seem to be telling lies. But compared to something like the blood succession limit, it is already the best thing in the ninja world. It's better than blood succession limit, so what is it? And the blood inheritance limit does not mean that it is powerful. If an ant has the blood inheritance limit and doesn't use it or develop it, it will still be an ant. Linmo said slowly. How many people with blood inheritance limits have achieved nothing in their lives? Blood inheritance limits only give you a better start, but it does not mean that you will definitely be able to compete. For example, in the Hyuga family you belong to, aren't there many Hyuga clan members who have Byakugan who have been mediocre throughout their lives? Have they become stronger due to their bloodline limit? Compared with truly talented ninjas without the power of blood, they only have the advantage of a white eye. If you accidentally fall into the trap of an ordinary person, you will die. Is it really strong to have a blood inheritance limit? Although the blood inheritance limit is the standard for measuring a strong person, it is not the only one. Even among the Hyuga clan, there are many people who have Byakugan but remain mediocre throughout their lives. The blood inheritance limit does not allow you to change your destiny against the will of heaven, it just gives you a good starting line. Without talent, there is no talent after all. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata fell silent. The shop owner is right, having blood inheritance limit does not mean that you will definitely become stronger. As the eldest lady of the Hyuga clan, she knows the situation of the Hyuga clan very well. According to the shop owner's analysis, the blood inheritance limit does not seem to be very good. But Hinata also knows that things like blood succession limits are also the pursuit of countless ordinary people. Once you combine with a ninja who has the blood inheritance limit, it is possible for the descendants to give birth to people with the blood inheritance limit. Unfortunately, it is not that easy to combine with a ninja who is a blood successor. Some people have scattered all their wealth and want to marry into the Hyuga clan, but they can't. Not to mention other families. There is a gap between civilians and nobles. That gap is the limit of blood inheritance. Then what does the shop owner want? Hyuga Hinata was silent for a while, hesitated, and then asked in a low voice. These ordinary jars are 100,000 each, but they contain the Sharingan, a blood inheritance limiter. No matter who it is, it can be fused. This is enough for anyone is crazy. This is something that cannot be bought for 1 million taels or even 10 million taels. Is it too cheap for the shop owner to sell it for 100,000 taels? Quote. In other words, why is the shopkeeper trying to sell it so cheaply? Although Hinata is young, she still doesn't understand why Lin Mo would open such a small jar shop. If there is such a thing, shouldn't it be used by oneself? Even if you don't use it yourself, if you really want to buy or sell it, you have to auction it or sell it at a high price. In the end, it only cost a mere 100,000 taels. This 100,000 taels is an astronomical sum for ordinary people. But for real ninjas or businessmen, it is a very cheap price. If those people knew, they would definitely go crazy. After all, 100,000 taels can buy a kind of blood inheritance limit, which is a free gift. Of course it's to sell more cans. Lin Mo smiled lightly. As for cheapness, that's the price of my jar shop. If it weren't for the fact that the price was set by a small store, I promise to adjust it to the lowest price. After all, by selling more jars, he can quickly obtain exclusive jars and become stronger. Hinata was confused when she heard Lin Mo's words. Sell more jars. What a strange goal. What she wanted to ask was why the shop owner wanted to sell it so cheaply. But the store owner said he would sell more cans, and then they were gone. Isn't this a free gift? For a moment, Hinata was a little confused. But looking at the shopkeeper's unwillingness to say more, Hinata took a deep breath and knew that there would be no result if she continued to ask. The top priority was to open the jar first, and it was more important to solve Hinata Hanabi's Sharingan. Of course, what I want to say is, what you get out of the can depends on your luck. Looking at Hinata who was about to open the can, Lin Mo chuckled. Maybe you opened the can but didn't get what you need to solve Hinata Hanabi. You have to be mentally prepared. Hinata is now opening the can, mainly to solve the problems of Hinata Hanabi and eliminate the 3 Magatama Sharingan. But sometimes the results don't go as Hinata wishes. Hinata, who was about to open the can, froze when she heard Lin Mo's words. Yes, what the shop owner said is that everything depends on your luck when opening the can. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get what you need for fireworks. I understand. Hinata nodded. You still have to open the jar. Only by opening the jar can you have a chance to remove Hinata Hanabi's Sharingan. If you don't open the can, there's absolutely no chance. Immediately, Hinata took out the money and prepared to open the jar, but the next second, Hinata touched her hand on her waist, her face turned red, and she lowered her head in embarrassment and said, shopkeeper, can you let me open it first? Jar, I'll have the money delivered later. She came out in a hurry and didn't take any money with her. Can't. Lin Mo shook his head. This store does not accept credit. When you pay, you open the jar. I see. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hyuga Hinata put away the embarrassment in her eyes, then looked at Chunju, and whispered, Chunju, please run to my room and bring my wallet. Remember to take the path, and go to be careful and don't draw attention to yourself. If the Hyuga clan moves quickly on the streets of Konoha Village, it will definitely attract some people's attention. But if they use chakra to speed up their pace secretly, there will be no problem. I know, miss. Hearing what Hyuga Hinata said, Hyuga Haruki nodded quickly and walked out. She naturally realized the importance of this matter. Really, why did you suddenly come to this jar shop? Watching Hyuga Haruki leave, Hyuga Hinata looked at Hyuga Hanabi and sighed in her heart. Hyuga Hanabi opened the jar and got a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan. Now I open the jar and get something that can eliminate Hyuga Hanabi's pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan. It's a complete cycle. Hanabi was curious, so she opened it. Hearing what Hinata Hyuga said, Hanabi looked at Hinata eagerly. Do you really want to remove Hanabi's Sharingan? Hanabi was able to control the Sharingan just now, and now she can switch between the Sharingan and the Byakugan. It doesn't matter if she doesn't remove it. Although she also knew what the Sharingan represented, she found that she became much stronger after having the Sharingan. And she still had the ability of the Sharingan to use. She could control the Sharingan and the Byakugan to switch between each other, so Hanabi felt that it was good not to remove the Sharingan. It has to be eliminated. Hearing what Hyuga Hanabi said, looking at the eager Hanabi, Hyuga Hinata hesitated, but still whispered, "Father said that you are the hope of the Hyuga clan. Although the Sharingan can help you, it has more disadvantages than advantages. It is better to be safe than sorry. Can you guarantee that you will not show your Sharingan in front of others in the future? Even if you don't show it, you will definitely use it in the process of performing tasks in the future. Once someone sees it, it will be bad. You can guarantee that you won't show it in front of others, but what if someone accidentally sees it when using it? At that time, the Hyuga clan will be in trouble. And now the Uchiha clan still has terrifying rebellious ninjas. Once the Sharingan appears on our Hyuga clan members, it will definitely attract the attention of the other party. At that time, my Hyuga clan it will be troublesome." Quote. After all, you are the second daughter of the Hyuga clan, and the hope of the Hyuga clan has Sharingan. What about the other people in the Hyuga clan? Do they have Sharingan too? By then, whether it is the Uchiha clan or other ninja clans, they will pay attention to our Hyuga clan. If we are not careful, our Hyuga clan will face disaster. So this is why I want to remove your Sharingan. And you are very talented, and you have the Byakugan. Sharingan is just a burden to you, because you only have one pair of eyes, and switching back and forth will make you more tired than ordinary people. Maintaining the Sharingan itself consumes a lot of chakra, and with the Byakugan, you don't have that much chakra consumption at all. Thinking of some of the things her father had said to her, looking at her sister, Hinata spoke in a low voice. What she said was actually some secrets. It's just that she didn't want to think about those things. Although she also knew that Hyuga Hanabi must know the severity of the matter and would not show her Sharingan in front of others. What can be done later? What if someone accidentally sees it in the future? That would be terrible. It would be a disaster for the Hyuga clan. Thinking of some of the things her father said when she was a child, she thought of the Uchiha clan and didn't expect it to be that situation. Hyuga Hinata didn't dare to gamble, and even felt nervous. While few people know about it now, Hyuga Hanabi must give up the Sharingan. Now that her father is gone, she is the only one who can protect her sister, so she expressed her opinion. Hanabi knows. Hearing what Hyuga Hinata said, Hyuga Hanabi was stunned, and it took a long time before she subconsciously nodded. My sister is right. In the long run, I can't have this pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan. But what if it can't be removed? The next second, Hyuga Hanabi suddenly thought of something, and said hesitantly, the owner brother also said that you may not get what you want when you open the can. Everything depends on your luck. What if you can't get it? Sister Hinata is now thinking about getting something out, and everything will develop in a good direction. But what if it can't be opened? If it can't be opened, we will go back and report this to father. Hyuga Hinata whispered. This matter must be told to father no matter what. Whether it is this mysterious shopkeeper or this magical jar shop, Hinata feels that she must report to her father. After all, this jar shop is incredible. It actually sells things like blood limit. There are even things that are more exaggerated than blood limit. It's incredible. This matter must be told to her father when she goes back. What she said to Hanabi before was also some family matters that Hyuga Hiyashi would tell her when he was normal. Otherwise, she wouldn't say these. She knew that she had to stand up in front of her sister. Yeah, hearing what Hinata said, Hanabi nodded obediently. Time passed quietly. Not long passed. Hinata Haruki came back. When he came back, he also brought Hinata Hyuga's purse. Shopkeeper, this is 500,000 taels, I'll open 5 jars. Looking at the money in his purse, Hinata Hyuga took it all out. Although he didn't spend much money normally, he only had more than 500,000 taels on him. He could open 5 jars from the shopkeeper. Yes. Hearing Hinata Hyuga's words, Linmo took the money handed over by Hinata Hyuga, nodded and said, choose 5 jars yourself. Looking at the 500,000 taels in hand, Linmo chuckled. As expected of the eldest lady of the Hyuga clan, she is rich. Although 500,000 taels can only buy 5 ordinary jars here. But in fact, outside, 500,000 taels is already a large sum of money. The reward for a ninja's D-level mission is between 500 taels and 10,000 taels. The reward for a C-level mission is between 10,000 taels and 50,000 taels. The reward for a B-level mission is between 50,000 taels and 150,000 taels. The reward for an A-level mission is between 150,000 taels and 1 million vehicles. As for the higher level S-level mission rewards, it is more than 1 million taels. For ninjas, B-level or A-level missions are usually completed in small groups, and the mission rewards are divided equally. The eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Hinata, does not need to complete the mission rewards, but only needs to collect her own resources from her family, and can even take more if she does not have enough. Just these 500,000 taels are far more than the wealth of ordinary ninjas. You don't need to struggle like others to get so much pocket money. It has to be said that Hyuga Hinata is a little rich woman. Yeah, hearing Lin Mo's words, seeing Lin Mo take the money. Hyuga Hinata nodded, and then began to look at the jars on the counter. All the jars are the same, they look ordinary, and you can only choose randomly. I just don't know if the Byakugan can see through it. Suddenly, such an idea was born in Hyuga Hinata's mind. What if you use the Byakugan to see? But the owner should not reveal such an obvious flaw. Even if you use your Byakugan, you can't see what's in the jar. When Hinata Hyuga thought so, Lin Mo chuckled and said, if you don't believe it, you can try it. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata Hyuga's face suddenly turned red. Sure enough, it's not allowed. As for trying something, forget it. After all, the owner said so. Sorry. Hinata apologized with a blushing face, then looked at the jar and started to choose again. Lin Mo looked at Hinata, who was carefully selecting jars, and chuckled. This young lady of the Hyuga family was a little unexpected. She didn't seem like a child of 12 or 13 years old. She was quite mature in her verbal communication. Hinata's behavior after entering the store surprised Lin Mo. When Lin Mo thought so, Hinata, who was selecting jars at this time, found that she couldn't tell the difference between the jars after looking for a while. She selected several jars one by one. As Hinata finished selecting the jars, Lin Mo waved his hand, and the jars selected by Hinata flew out safely and landed in front of Hinata. Good, so powerful. Lin Mo's sudden move surprised Hinata again. She couldn't sense any chakra energy at all. Just by waving his hand, the jars he selected flew out, and he couldn't feel any chakra at all. Looking at the shop owner again, there is no chakra on him. But he can use this method. For a moment, Lin Mo's identity rose to a higher level in Hinata Hyuga's heart. Hinata Hyuga took a deep breath, and then decisively knocked open the first jar. With a bang, the first jar broke, and a blue ball of light fell out. Seeing this ball of light, Hinata Hyuga was stunned. What is this? Blue ball of light. Such a bright ball of light. Seeing this blue ball of light, Hinata Hyuga was surprised. When Hanabi opened the jar just now, what came out was a pair of Sharingan wrapped in water balls, and then they merged and possessed it as soon as they touched it. When I opened the jar just now, what I opened was not like this. Hearing what Hinata Hyuga said, Hinata Hyuga's mind moved, and her eyes looked at Lin Mo. I don't know, but the shop owner must know. At this time, Lin Mo, looking at this blue ball of light, was also surprised. Wind chakra nature represents the chakra of wind nature. After fusion, it can master the changes of wind chakra. It's a simple introduction, nothing special. But Lin Mo knows that this thing is not simple. The chakra property of a ninja has been determined from the moment of birth to a certain extent. Before learning attribute ninjutsu, every ninja needs to test his chakra property with chakra test paper, and then learn the corresponding chakra ninjutsu. Inputting each attribute chakra into the chakra test paper will get different results. Water attribute chakra will make paper wet. Fire attribute chakra will burn paper. Earth attribute chakra will shred paper. Wind attribute chakra will tear and cut paper. Thunder attribute chakra will make paper wrinkled. If all 5 attributes are possessed, then one area will catch fire, one area will be split, one area will become wrinkled, one area will be wet, and the last area will be broken. Although in theory, everyone's chakra contains 5 basic attributes, but one or several of them are more prominent, which is closely related to their talents and determines their mastery of a certain attribute. Although the chakra test paper can detect the most prominent attribute, it does not mean that other attributes cannot be developed. However, the process of developing other attributes is extremely difficult. In fact, many people can only master the attribute with the strongest talent throughout their lives, and other attributes are almost solidified in potential and difficult to tap. To become a senior ninja, there is a prerequisite that you must master the changes in the properties of 2 chakra attributes. Many ninjas cannot develop them in their entire lives, let alone ordinary people whose chakra attributes are not outstanding. This is the change in the chakra property of the wind attribute. Looking at the gaze of Hinata Hyuga, Linmo stopped thinking about it, and said slowly, if you touch it, you can fuse this chakra, so that you can master the changes in the chakra property of the wind attribute from now on, and you can develop and practice wind attribute ninjutsu. How could it be? Hearing Linmo's words, Hinata Hyuga suddenly widened her eyes and looked at the light ball in front of her. Is this blue light ball a change in the nature of wind attribute chakra? Just by touching it, people can master the change in the nature of wind attribute chakra. This is too exaggerated. Although she was shocked when she knew that Hinata Hanabi had opened the 3 Magatama Sharingan and had fused it, she had an understanding of this jar. But now, she still felt shocked. Because people's chakra is almost fixed since birth. People with significant chakra attributes can become ninjas and learn ninjutsu. People with insignificant chakra attributes can only become civilians. Or learn physical skills. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. Even for ninjas, some people's significant chakra attributes are fixed. This can't be done even with transplantation. As far as I know, bloodline limits such as Sharingan and Byakugan can be transplanted. As long as you find someone who is proficient in medical ninjutsu to transplant, it can be successfully transplanted. But things like chakra attributes can't be transplanted at all. It's like a talent, it's fixed. You need to develop and master it yourself. It can even be said that if you are born with a significant talent, you have it, and if you don't, you don't. But the shop owner said that this blue light ball she opened can make you master the change of wind attribute chakra nature by just touching it. Doesn't this mean that even if a person does not have a significant chakra attribute, he can instantly master the chakra nature of the wind attribute after touching it when the chakra test paper cannot measure it? Thinking of this, Hyuga Hinata's breathing became rapid, and her eyes looked at Linmo. Shop owner, if a person who does not have any significant chakra attribute touches this, can he also master the change of wind attribute chakra nature? And practice wind attribute ninjutsu? If so, this completely breaks the gap between ordinary people and ninjas. There is no such situation in the entire ninja world. At least, she has never heard of it. Of course. Linmo nodded. Wind attribute chakra, no matter who opens it, can master the change of this attribute chakra nature after fusion. This thing, no matter who comes, can fuse and master the change of wind attribute chakra nature. However, in this ninja world, mastering the wind attributed chakra property changes does not mean that you can ascend to heaven in one step. Because you still have to continue to develop. After getting Linmo's exact answer, Hyuga Hinata took several deep breaths to calm her turbulent heart. As the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Hinata understood the meaning of this chakra property change light ball. It can completely break the road of ninja that blocks ordinary people. If people knew this, they would definitely go crazy. How many ordinary people have money but cannot practice ninjutsu without significant chakra attributes, and are in danger of being robbed of their wealth? For this reason, many people are willing to spend a lot of money to seek the protection of ninjas. Not to mention ordinary people, even their ninjas will go crazy for this. Because many ninjas practice and possess ninjutsu, which is linked to what kind of significant attribute chakra they have. Many ninjas only have one significant chakra attribute, so they are much inferior to many ninjas. Because you can only use one attribute ninjutsu, while people who have more significant chakra attributes than you can use 2 or even 3. This is completely a crushing of quality. Even Hinata Hyuga, the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan, only has the significant chakra attributes of lightning and fire. She has not yet mastered the changes in the properties of these 2 chakra attributes. But now that she has integrated this thing, she can master the changes in the chakra properties of the wind attribute, become a ninja with 3 attributes, and can develop and practice wind attribute ninjutsu. Whether it is the means to fight the enemy or the life-saving ninjutsu, it has greatly increased. Although she was shocked, Hinata Hyuga reached out and touched it as soon as possible to integrate the change in the nature of the wind attribute chakra. In a moment, this blue light ball turned into water and poured into Hinata Hyuga's body. Hinata could clearly feel that some changes had taken place in the chakra she controlled. The next second, Hinata took out the chakra test strip from her wallet. Reach out and inject chakra. Almost instantly, the chakra test paper changed. An area caught fire, an area became wrinkled, and then the chakra strips were split open. This means that Hinata, whose only significant chakra attributes were thunder and fire chakras, now has significant wind attribute chakras again, and at the same time has mastered the changes in wind attribute chakra properties. Seeing what really happened, Hinata was extremely shocked. It was not only Hinata who was shocked, but also Hinata Hanabi, Hinata Haruki, and Hinata Harumamo. They all looked at all this with their mouths agape. My eldest daughter actually possesses 3 remarkable chakra attributes so easily. It is even a chakra property change that can be mastered without having to develop it yourself. And this is just the beginning. There must be 4 or 5 more to come. After all, Hinata has only opened 1 jar so far. When they were thinking this, Hinata had already adjusted her mentality and let out a long breath. Look at the remaining 4 jars and decisively knock open the next one. Bang! The second jar shattered and a stack of detonating charms fell. It's a detonating charm. Looking at all these detonating symbols, Hinata recognized them instantly. Lin Mo didn't need to tell her, she knew it. And this stack of detonating talismans made her feel that she might have made a little profit. Good. Hearing Hinata's words, Lin Mo nodded, but it's not an ordinary detonating talisman, but a waterproof detonating talisman. While talking, Lin Mo looked at the waterproof detonating charm that Hinata had opened. Waterproof detonating talisman, the surface volume combines the volume of 2 ordinary detonating symbols. Its power is far greater than ordinary detonating symbols. It has a certain waterproof performance and can temporarily trigger explosions even underwater. This thing is also waterproof. This is the first time I know. Waterproof detonating charm. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata looked surprised. That price is more expensive. There are several types of detonating charms. Even the most common detonating talisman costs 2,000 taels of silver. Not to mention waterproof detonating charms that are more expensive than ordinary detonating charms. Hinata immediately took the stack of detonating charms in her hand and roughly counted them. Almost 30. The money spent was earned back. For a moment, Hinata looked extremely surprised. It costs 100,000 taels of silver to open a jar myself, but this stack of 30 waterproof detonating talismans has fully paid for itself. Although I don't know the price of this kind of detonating talisman, it is definitely more expensive than ordinary detonating talismans. Good. Seeing the surprised Hinata, Lin Mo nodded. You can get your money back by opening the jar. A jar costs 100,000 taels of silver, but the stack of detonating talismans you have opened so far has already paid back 1 jar. If you're lucky, what comes out next time won't be a stack of detonating talismans, but a bundle of detonating talismans. Yes. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata nodded slightly. At this moment, she suddenly felt that the store owner's jars were not expensive at all, and they were still very cheap. Although I have thought so before. After all, Hanabi used a jar of 100,000 ryo to open a pair of priceless Sharingan. Or the 3 Magatama Sharingan. This is something that 100,000 taels of silver cannot buy. And now I have opened 2 jars. Whether it's the chakra attribute before or the waterproof detonating charm in my hand now, every jar has paid off. Calculating it, I won't lose at all. Because just one chakra attribute makes you make money. With wind attribute chakra, it means that she can continue to learn wind attribute ninjutsu. Thinking of this, Hinata looked at Linmo with excitement in his eyes. This is a great person. With this in mind, Hinata continued to open the third jar. Bang! The third jar shattered and a handful of black kunai fell. Kunai. Looking at the fallen kunai, Hinata was stunned. Subconsciously, Hinata looked at Linmo and asked curiously, "Shopkeeper, is this kunai special?" Because the detonating talisman that just fell out is different from the detonating talisman I know. It is a special detonating talisman. If the kunai that fell now is special, it would be very valuable. Hard kunai made of fine steel is far more durable than ordinary kunai. At this time, Linmo glanced at the introduction of this kunai and nodded immediately after hearing Hinata's words. It's a bit special, but it's just a little harder than ordinary kunai. Other than that, there's nothing else special about it. Tougher than regular kunai. Hearing Linmo's words, Hinata was stunned. This seemed to be of no use. No, the durability is quite good. Thinking like this, Hinata immediately put away the kunai. Then proceed to crack the fourth jar. Bang! The fourth jar shattered, and a blue light ball fell down, which surprised Hinata. Blue light group. Is it another chakra attribute light group? Hinata subconsciously looked at Linmo. Shopkeeper, what is the chakra attribute of this? The eldest lady's luck is too good. Next to her, Chun Dao saw this scene and couldn't help but exclaimed. The eldest lady opened the can, and now 2 blue light balls have been opened. The previous blue light ball was a change in the chakra nature of the wind attribute. If this blue light ball is also a change in the chakra nature of an attribute, then it will be a big profit. Elite Genin's chakra comes from the chakra that a senior Genin has cultivated hard. After fusion, it can instantly superimpose its own chakra and increase the chakra of the senior Genin level. At this time, Linmo also saw the blue light ball opened by Hinata Hyuga, and couldn't help raising his eyebrows. Senior Genin equals Elite Genin. It's not what you think. Hearing Hinata Hyuga's words, Linmo smiled faintly and said, "This is the chakra of the Elite Genin level, or the chakra of the Senior Genin. After you fuse it, you can increase the chakra in your body. This thing is the amount of chakra. Even an ordinary person can have this amount of chakra after fusion. But if you don't have ninja talent, you can't use it. Even ordinary Genin can't become an Elite Genin. After all, Elite Genin has more than just chakra. Increase the chakra in your body." When Hyuga Hinata heard Linmo's words, she was shocked. Still Elite Genin. You know, chakra is cultivated and refined by every ninja himself, and contained in his body. There is no way to take shortcuts. If you want to become stronger, you have to practice and refine chakra. At least in her opinion, that's the case. But now, she actually opened this thing. Doesn't that mean, no matter who it is, even if they don't have ninja talent, as long as they touch this chakra light ball, they can become an Elite Genin in one step? Even though he has no other skills, the chakra in his body has reached the level of an Elite Genin. This means that it is more powerful than the ninjas of the same period. They are also Genin, but they only have the chakra of Genin. And you have chakra that far exceeds that of ordinary Genin, so the sky has moved towards you. Hinata stretched out her hand and touched the blue light group. In an instant, the blue light turned into water and poured into Hinata's body, making Hinata feel a comfortable feeling all over her body. But it only felt like a moment. The next second, Hinata felt a huge amount of chakra coming out of thin air in her body, and she was immediately shocked. Really the chakra of an Elite Genin. This chakra is more than what I have cultivated. Although she is about to graduate from the ninja school, she is not yet at the level of an Elite Genin. Now, a jar worth 100,000 taels has completely surpassed all her efforts in cultivating chakra over the years. The most important thing is that this is the chakra of Elite Genin. What if it's a Chunin or a Junin? Hinata couldn't even think about it. Any chakra is never generated out of thin air, it is refined by practitioners. Talented practitioners can even practice through shadow clones. But even if you use shadow clones to practice, you can't continue forever. The most important thing was that she felt that while her chakra was increasing, the meridians in her body were also active and seemed to be getting thicker. It's like a tree slowly growing up, changing its weight, and melting into another tree at the same time. The increase in density is like the expansion of the meridians. With the blood inheritance limit of Byakugan, she can clearly feel the changes in the meridians in her body. Shopkeeper. Hinata looked at Linmo subconsciously and said in shock, if I keep opening the jar, doesn't it mean that it is always possible to open this so-called chakra? This jar can be used to make ninjas in batches, right? Even within a ninja family, not everyone is a ninja. It's also impossible to mass-produce ninjas. Good. Seeing Hinata's shocked face, Linmo nodded, smiled faintly and said, not only the chakra of this elite genin, there are also chakras of Chunin and even Junin in the jar. If you are lucky, you can open it. Shadow-level chakra is possible. After hearing Linmo's words, no matter it was Hinata or Hanabi Hinata, even their maids, all looked shocked. If a jar opened up chakra at the Jonin level, wouldn't it be like reaching the sky in one step? The amount of chakra at the Junin level is completely different from that of a Genin or Chunin. And the most important thing is that this amount of chakra can still be superimposed. The chakra amount of an elite genin can be continuously added up through jars. If you are lucky, the jar will keep opening and the chakra of elite genin will come out. If you keep adding them up, you are already a chunin. Don't be so shocked, simple chakra may not be omnipotent. Seeing Hinata and others who were shocked at the scene, Linmo slowly said, any use of chakra requires the help of ninjutsu or proficiency. What you fuse is just the chakra obtained out of thin air. If you can't use it as you should, the effect is useless. A strong person can control chakra more accurately, and can even control a small amount of chakra to perform some powerful ninjutsu. For ninjas, ninjutsu is the key, as well as physical fitness. This is just the amount of chakra, not the experience of chakra control. So even if someone opens it, they still need to adapt to this chakra and exercise. If you don't even know how to use it, what's the use of giving you Junin level chakra? If you want to use chakra perfectly, you still need to practice. Whether you are a talented ninja or a non-talented ninja, you need to train. It's not an example of a ninja with less chakra being killed by a ninja who didn't have a lot of chakra. Hearing Linmo's words, Hinata was shocked. Then he nodded with deep understanding. Indeed, really powerful ninjas rely on their own control of chakra to control the consumption of chakra. If you can't grasp it, once your physical strength is exhausted, you will be completely at a disadvantage and you will be in trouble. But even so, Hinata still felt a little dazed with the amount of chakra this elite genin had. Because, it's too easy. You just need to spend money to do it. If this spreads out, it will definitely cause an uproar. Ninjas with poor qualifications don't have to worry about refining too little chakra. As long as you open the jar, you will have the opportunity to continuously obtain chakra, allowing you to reach the level of Chunin or even Junin. Even if you master a few ninjutsu, you can still use the amount of chakra to achieve greater effects. Who is this young man who is several years older than himself? Subconsciously, Hinata looked at Linmo with confusion in her eyes. She knows more than Hanabi and understands the meaning of this jar better. But the other party actually sold it openly like this. Aren't you afraid that Konoha will cause trouble for him? Looking at the last jar left, Hinata opened it decisively. Bang! The fifth jar, this time it was a black ball. Bingliong pill. Looking at this thing, Hyuga Hinata recognized it again. Not bad. Linmo nodded. Compared with the same level of Bingliong pill, the effect of this Bingliong pill is also better, but that's all. While speaking, Linmo looked at the introduction of this Bingliong pill. Special Bingliong pill. After eating, it can instantly enhance chakra and restore chakra, but eating too much will cause indigestion, so it is not advisable to eat too much. The simple introduction made Linmo think about another question. That is, the things opened from this jar, even if they are very ordinary, the quality seems to be better than those outside. I have to go out and buy something to compare. While Linmo was thinking this, Hyuga Hinata had already put away the Bingliong pill. So far, all 5 jars have been opened, and she has no money. And no solution to the problem of Hanabi's eyes has been opened. She felt that this matter must be notified to her father. Hanabi's eyes have not been fixed, so it is definitely not something she can hide. Even if she hides it, it is meaningless. The best way is to tell her father. If she tells him, she must tell him about the jar shop. From what she has contacted with the owner, he doesn't seem to mind telling others about the jar shop. Thinking of this, Hyuga Hinata looked at Linmo and asked softly, "Shopkeeper, you don't mind me telling others about your shop, right?" Although she had a guess, Hyuga Hinata still asked, wanting to get a guaranteed answer. "Of course I don't mind." Hearing what Hyuga Hinata said, Linmo smiled faintly and said, "If you are willing to bring someone to open the jar, I will be even happier." Linmo was eager for Hinata to bring someone to open the jar. Because as long as more people come to open the can, more things will be opened. And he can get more things. Similarly, if you sell a certain amount of jars, there will be rewards for exclusive jars. Opening a special jar means that for you, it must be something far beyond what others can get from opening a jar. In addition, it is impossible for him to stand at the door and loudly promote it, and noisy people come to open the can. Because if they were not ninjas, few residents would be willing to spend 100,000 taels to open an unknown jar. Even if this jar was blown up by him. The most important thing is that it will attract the attention of that Danzo. Although I am invincible in this little jar shop. But after leaving the jar shop, it was no longer the case. He can't stay away from the jar shop for the rest of his life. What to eat? He has decided to slowly collect supplies. He didn't enjoy walking around Konoha either, other than preparing for what might be behind. It would be even better if you could stay in the store. After all, Konoha Village today has no internet or computers, which is so boring. Now that it has just opened, he hopes that it will not cause such a fuss when a large number of ninjas come to open the cans. When you continue to become stronger through others opening jars, you won't need to worry about Danzo's stuff. And it's not just Danzo either. Thinking of this, Linmo's eyes were a little deep. He wished that everyone in the Hyuga clan would open the jar. At this time, Hinata was a little confused after hearing Linmo's words and receiving Linmo's affirmative reply. The owner actually said the more people she brought, the better. Then why doesn't the shop owner take the initiative to go out and cooperate with Konoha? Although she couldn't figure it out, Hinata decided not to think about it anymore, but decided to tell her father about it and let his father make the decision. Shopkeeper. Thinking of this, Hinata quickly said, "I am going to go back and report to father. Father may come by then." "That's good." Hearing Hinata's words, Linmo smiled lightly and said, "But you have to do it as soon as possible, because my jars are in limited supply every day. If others buy them before you come, they will be gone. You can sign in and receive some ordinary jars for free every day. If these jars are sold out, they are gone. We can only wait until the next day." Thinking of this gave him a headache. Why is there not an unlimited supply of jars in this store? According to his speculation, if you want to get more cans by signing in, then it may be related to the more cans you sell. Hearing this, Hinata couldn't help but feel a sense of urgency in her heart, and said in surprise, "Shop owner, the can shop you opened doesn't have an unlimited supply." Hinata, who was in shock, suddenly thought of something and felt it was reasonable. It would seem terrifying if such a magical jar were available in unlimited quantities. Of course not. Linmo shook his head gently. Not only does my can store not provide an unlimited supply of cans, but the people who come to open the cans also have purchase limits. Each person can only open 10 cans a week. If you want to continue, you have to wait for next week. If it weren't for the rules of this shabby store, I would have sold all the cans. As for the changes in the ninja world, what does it have to do with him? Even he had no idea what would be in the jar. You won't know until the person who opens the can opens it. This is why he told Hinata that he hoped Hinata would bring more people to open the cans instead of asking Hinata to go back and get millions or tens of millions to buy cans. Because there is a purchase limit. Is there a purchase limit? After hearing Linmo's words, Hinata immediately looked at Hinata Hanabi. If this is the case, then Hanabi's Sharingan problem may not be solved so quickly. Moreover, this shop owner seemed a bit too strange to Hinata. If someone else owned these jars, how could they be sold? Even if it is for sale, it is impossible to buy only 100,000 taels. Just a blood ring eye can arouse the pursuit of countless ninjas, let alone one with 3 Magatama. How many members of the Uchiha clan are unable to open 3 Magatama in their entire lives? Why is the shop owner selling these pictures? If she could understand the Sharingan, then she couldn't understand the attributes of chakra. People who do not have chakra attributes can actually obtain chakra attributes by opening a jar, completely changing themselves and possessing the qualifications to be a ninja. This is simply a fantasy. This can completely create people with ninja qualifications at will. And that chakra can be obtained directly out of thin air, instantly freeing people from the troubles of training, and making people stronger out of thin air. With the combination, it is possible to continuously create ninjas. Can this be sold? She couldn't figure out what Lin Mo meant by doing this. If it is as the store owner said, the store is just for business and selling cans. And why is there a purchase limit? This is completely contradictory. Hinata felt a little pain in her head and couldn't figure it out at all. But if you can't figure it out, then don't think about it. I have to go back and tell my father about this. Thinking of this, Hinata said softly, then shopkeeper, I'm going back first. I will bring my father over to open the jar. Now that the jar has been opened, there is no need to stay here. I have to take Hanabi back and tell my father about her situation. Well, go ahead. Hearing Hinata's words, Lin Mo nodded. Then he watched Hinata Hyuga leave. As Hinata Hyuga left, so did Hanabi Hyuga and 2 maids. After there was no one in the jar shop, Lin Mo moved his mind, and suddenly several things appeared in front of him. A pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan, a kunai, a soldier pill, an elite genin chakra light ball, and a wind-attributed chakra nature. It was the thing that Hanabi and Hinata opened the jar before. Lin Mo took the lead in reaching out his hand to touch the chakra light ball. In just a moment, Lin Mo felt a special heat flow into his body. Unfortunately, there is no chakra refining method, so I can't refine chakra. If I want to use chakra, I can only use it to cast the Sharingan. Feeling the chakra in his body, Lin Mo reached out and touched the Sharingan again. In an instant, Lin Mo only felt a warm current wrapped around his eyes. With a thought, the 3 Magatama Sharingan appeared in Lin Mo's eyes. When the 3 Magatama Sharingan appeared, Lin Mo could feel that the chakra in his body was slowly passing away. As Lin Mo closed the Sharingan, that feeling completely disappeared. Lin Mo reached out again to touch the wind attribute chakra property change. In an instant, this blue light ball poured into his body. Lin Mo immediately felt that the chakra flow in his body seemed to be faster. It's a pity that I don't know the wind-type ninjutsu. Chakra refining methods, secret ninjutsu techniques, etc. are all lacking. Using the 3 Magatama Sharingan also requires proficiency. But it's not like I don't have the ability to simply protect myself. Feeling the changes in himself, Lin Mo looked at the stack of detonating symbols. Throw this stack of detonating talismans, and the power is not weak. I just came to this Konoha village, let's go out and eat ramen. Look how delicious Ichiraku ramen is. It's impossible for anyone to open the can in such a short period of time, even the Hinata family. If you can let Hinata Hanabi come and open the jar with Hinata, the door is open today. Lin Mo was thinking as he walked out of the jar shop. Konoha Village's Ichiraku ramen is famous, and he wanted to try it. With Lin Mo's thought, the door of the jar shop automatically closed. Lin Mo walked towards the street ahead and started shopping briefly, looking for Ichiraku ramen shop. He wasn't worried about anyone breaking into his little jar shop. No one can open it except him, the store owner. But Konoha Village is really broken. When Lin Mo looked at the shops on the streets of Konoha Village, Lin Mo shook his head. Although he knows that Konoha Village is very prosperous now, it is already pretty good. But being used to modern buildings, he felt that this kind of building was really shabby. While Lin Mo was walking down the street, looking at Konoha Village. The other side, Hinata has quickly returned to her family with Hanabi and her maid. When she returned to the family, she immediately pulled Hinata Hanabi and ran towards Hinata Hiyashi's study. Father, father, Hinata shouted softly as she pulled Hinata Hanabi into a trot. As a result, when I walked to the study door, there was no movement at all. This left Hinata stunned. Isn't his father here? Immediately, Hinata opened the door and saw an empty study room. Father is not here, so we can only wait. Hinata immediately turned to look at Hanabi. let's go, Hanabi, follow me to the front and wait for father to come back. As the leader of the Hyuga clan, he is also very busy with his daily work. During this period, she was frequently notified of going to the Hokage's office for meetings, so Hinata was not surprised at all when Hinata were not in the study. All they have to do is wait. Oh, hearing Hinata's words, Hanabi whispered, then can I go to the courtyard to play now? I want to master the Sharingan. While speaking, Hanabi's Sharingan appeared in her eyes. It's almost off, Hanabi. Seeing Hanabi's actions, Hinata hurriedly whispered, turn it off first. When father comes back, we will tell him about this matter. Then he will obey his instructions. Don't open it now, otherwise, if you let him it would be bad if people saw it. Even within the family, it would be a very bad thing if other members of the Hyuga clan saw Hanabi's Sharingan. Oh, after hearing Hinata's words, Hanabi closed her Sharingan in frustration. She just wants to play this fun thing now, but in the end she can't even play. However, thinking of her sister's instructions, Hanabi looked at Hinata hesitantly and whispered, sister, will I become blind? Hanabi sounded worried. No. Hearing Hanabi's words, Hinata shook her head quickly, your talent is better than mine. How could you become blind? Don't think too much. Father will take care of everything. All we have to do now is wait for father to come back. After hearing Hinata's words and feeling Hinata holding her hand, Hanabi nodded and gradually relaxed. By the way, who is that beautiful big brother? He actually sells these magical things. Hanabi suddenly thought of Linmo, and quickly whispered, can Hanabi still go to find her in the future? She was afraid that she would not be able to find Linmo in the future. It seems very bad to be under house arrest all the time. Probably not. After hearing Hanabi's words, Hinata hesitated and said, you won't be locked up at home all the time, and you rarely went out before. And don't forget, you still have a jar that you haven't opened yet. Father will definitely take you to open the jar with you when the time comes. But I remember that the shopkeeper said that one person can open 10 jars. And Hanabi had just opened a jar. This jar is so amazing, how could it be possible to give it up? Yes. After hearing Hinata's words, Hanabi's eyes suddenly lit up. I still have a chance to open the jar myself. If his father knew about it, why wouldn't he let him open the jar? For a moment, Hanabi completely let go. Tap tap tap. Just when Hinata and Hanabi were waiting, footsteps sounded from outside, approaching from far away. Hearing the familiar footsteps, Hinata and Hanabi quickly looked up. Sure enough, he saw Hinashi walking towards him at a glance. What's the matter? Looking at the two little guys waiting for him at the door, Hyuga smiled and said, tell me about it. These two little guys, when they have nothing to do, will not come to see him. Even at home, they have their own rooms and play in the courtyard. If it is not for practice, these two little guys will run as far as they can when they see him. Especially Hanabi. So when he came back and saw this scene, he knew that these two little guys had something to find him. He was quite curious about what could make the two of them wait for him together. Father. Looking at Hyuga who came back, Hinata's face was happy, and she stood up quickly and wanted to say something, but she didn't know how to say it. Should I talk about the Sharingan directly? Or the mysterious shop owner? And the jar? There are so many things to talk about. Some of them are tedious, and it takes time. That's right. The next second, Hinata saw Hanabi next to her, and thought of something, and hurriedly said, Hanabi, open your eyes for your father to see. In Hinata's opinion, all words are not as effective as showing. Oh, hearing Hinata's words, Hanabi nodded obediently and opened her Sharingan immediately. Open your eyes. Hyuga was surprised when he heard Hinata's words. Why did Hinata ask Hanabi to open her eyes for no reason? But the next second, his eyes were straight, with an expression of seeing a ghost. Chapter 11. Sharingan. Hinata's voice was trembling, and his eyes were fixed on the bright red pupils of Hanabi. How could it be? Seeing that in Hanabi's eyes, it was not the familiar Byakugan of the Hyuga clan, but the Sharingan unique to the Uchiha clan. Hinata was shocked on the spot and couldn't believe his eyes. Hanabi, What's going on? How do you have Sharingan? The next second, Hinata Hiyashi hurried forward and grabbed Hanabi's shoulders. The force was so great that Hanabi couldn't help but frown. Seeing Hinata Hiyashi losing control, Hinata Hanabi was ready to speak immediately. But before she could speak, she was interrupted by Hyuga Hiyashi. Let's talk inside. Hyuga Hiyashi immediately took Hanabi's hand and walked quickly to his study, followed by Hinata. Bang! As soon as the door closed, Hiyashi immediately pushed Hanabi to sit on the chair, squatted in front of her, and looked serious and anxious. Hanabi, open your eyes again, I need to confirm. Oh, Hanabi obediently opened her Sharingan again, and her red eyes looked particularly dazzling in the dim room. Hiyashi stared at her eyes and carefully observed Hanabi's eyes, looking for any traces of illusion. But he didn't find any. What's going on? Hinata Hiyashi took a deep breath and looked at Hinata and Hanabi. Since you came to me to talk about this, there must be a reason. Yeah, hearing what Hinata Hiyashi said, Hinata hurriedly said, Father, all this is because of the mysterious shopkeeper. He sells all kinds of magical jars, and Hanabi's pair of Sharingans came out of the jars. As he said that, Hinata briefly told her and Hanabi about what happened in Linmo's jar shop. Hinata Hiyashi's expression gradually changed from shock to solemnity. As Hinata told him, Hiyashi became more and more frightened, and all this was beyond his cognition. Could it be someone who likes to do experiments? After listening to what Hinata said, Hinata Hiyashi frowned and murmured, did he miss anything at the beginning? If that's the case, how could the other party have the courage to sell such things in Konoha? What did you open? It took a long time for Hyuga Hiyashi to come back to his senses and look at Hinata. Didn't you open the jar too? I opened the chakra of an elite genin. Hinata said quickly, and the wind attribute of the chakra changed. Hinata briefly described what she opened in the jar shop, and Hyuga Hiyashi was shocked again. Buzz. In an instant, Hyuga Hiyashi opened his Byakugan again and stared at the flow of Hyuga Hinata's chakra. It was just a moment, and he noticed the amount of chakra in Hyuga Hinata's body. Compared to before, it suddenly increased several times. It's really the amount of chakra at the level of an elite genin. Hyuga Hiyashi was shocked, skipped the step of training, and appeared directly in the body. Even if it is to absorb chakra, it is not so efficient. He can feel that the chakra in Hinata's body has been perfectly integrated with her own meridians. Then, Hyuga Hiyashi took out the chakra test paper again and asked Hinata to do it. He saw Hinata's wind attribute chakra. At this moment, Hyuga Hiyashi was completely silent. Because when Hinata tested the chakra, he was the one who tested it himself. At that time, Hinata only had 2 chakra attributes, fire and thunder. Now, wind has appeared. It's not enough that it appears now, but it's the wind attribute chakra change that leads the fire and thunder attributes. Who is that guy selling jars? Hyuga Hiyashi was completely shocked and didn't know what to say. Even though he had seen big winds and waves, he was stunned at this moment. Because even if the Sharingan wants to be transplanted, it needs to be transplanted surgically. How can it be instantly fused by direct contact? As for the change in the nature of chakra, it is impossible not to develop it before mastering it. And there is also the amount of chakra of the elite genin that Hinata has not been able to cultivate until now. In his feeling, this is comparable to the chakra amount of ordinary chunin. And all of this was just what Hinata opened in that magical jar shop. And the jars were only 100,000 taels each. Hyuga Hiyashi was silent. For a moment, the whole study was silent. Hinata and Hyuga Hanabi looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Time passed quietly. After a long while, Hyuga Hiyashi let out a long sigh and said slowly, I'll go and see it myself. The current situation requires a personal visit to understand it in depth. This is simply a fantasy. Father, are you going to take me to open the jar? Hearing what Hyuga Hiyashi said, Hanabi looked at Hyuga Hiyashi with some anticipation. Because if her father took her to open the jar, then she would definitely not have to pay for it herself. You stay in the family with your sister first. Hinata Hiyashi looked at the Sharingan in Hinata Hanabi's eyes and sighed softly. The Sharingan is of great importance. There have been some incidents in the village recently, and there are many patrolling ninjas. Your Sharingan must not be discovered. Stay at home with your sister first. We'll talk about your matter in detail in the evening. You can open the can, no rush. Hinata Hanabi's Sharingan, he also needs to talk to the mysterious shop owner. The information he has learned from Hinata and Hanabi so far makes him feel the mystery of the shop owner. I must talk to that person. Oh, okay. Hearing what Hinata Hiyashi said, Hanabi felt a little disappointed, but didn't say anything. According to what Hinata Hiyashi said, it seems that he will definitely take him to open the can. Then, tell me the address of the shop owner's shop. The next second, Hinata Hiyashi opened his mouth and asked Hinata. Then, Hinata told the approximate location. Immediately, Hinata Hiyashi left. He went straight to the magical can shop. When Hinata Hiyashi rushed to Linmo's can shop. At this time, Linmo also came to Ichiraku Ma noodle shop, waiting for the handmade ramen. Ichiraku ramen shop is here. The next second, Ichiraku personally brought a bowl of ramen in front of Linmo, and said with a smile, "Brother, your ramen." Yeah, looking at the steaming ramen in front of him, Linmo nodded. Let alone the taste alone is good. How does it taste? Shoda watched Linmo pick up the bowl and drink the soup first, and immediately smiled and said, "How do you feel?" Not bad. After taking a sip of the noodle soup, Linmo nodded, "I like it very much." It must be said that the taste of Ichiraku ramen is indeed good. Even if it's just the first time to eat it. Haha, I'm glad you like it. Hearing Linmo's words, Shoda continued to smile and said, "Brother, you are not from our Konoha, are you here to travel to our Konoha village? I have to say that it's the right time to travel here." Hearing what the hand beater said, Linmo looked at the hand beater in surprise. "Why do you say that? I see that your clothes and your spirit and appearance do not look like someone from our Konoha village." The hand beater said with a smile, "That's why I concluded that you are not from our Konoha village. You should be from a wealthy family." Linmo, then you really guessed wrong. Linmo shook his head, "But I am indeed not from Konoha village. Coming to Konoha village as a temporary residence. But I am curious, why do you say that I came at the right time?" "Because it is the annual graduation season of the ninja school recently." The uncle of the hand beater said with a smile, "After graduating from the ninja school, these children will follow the team leader to perform some tasks in the village. The price of issuing tasks at this time will be lower than before. Every year at this time, there are more people." "Is that so?" Hearing what the hand beater said, Linmo understood. Graduating from the ninja school. So, is Hinata about to graduate soon? "Uncle, another bowl of ramen." At this moment, a smaller voice sounded, causing Linmo to take a closer look. But after looking over, Linmo found Uzumaki Naruto sitting in the corner, handing out a bowl of noodles. Seeing Uzumaki Naruto, Linmo was surprised. Is it such a coincidence? When he just came to Ichiraku Ramen, he hadn't noticed this little guy. As Linmo looked over, Uzumaki Naruto, who was handing out a bowl of ramen, felt someone was watching him, and his movements suddenly froze. The feeling of being watched made him feel a little uncomfortable and nervous. He subconsciously shrank his head, as if hoping to avoid that sight. His hands trembled slightly, and the action of handing the ramen bowl to Ichiraku seemed a little hesitant. But after realizing that there was no malice in this look, Uzumaki Naruto secretly raised his eyelids and glanced at the person looking at him. Found that it was a strange young man. However, seeing Linmo turning his head to look at him, his gaze was not malicious, but Naruto still felt a little inferior and uneasy. He quickly lowered his head, staring at the texture of the table, as if there were countless secrets hidden on it, which could make him forget his current situation. No malice. Doesn't he hate me? Naruto sighed secretly in his heart, and he knew that he was not welcome in the village. From childhood to adulthood, the villagers always looked at him with all kinds of complicated eyes, with disgust, fear, and sympathy, but only without friendliness. He had long been accustomed to such eyes, but every time he was stared at, he would still feel a burst of bitterness and helplessness in his heart. He tightly grasped the corner of his clothes, and the memories of the cold eyes and rejection he had received flashed through his mind quickly. Every time at this time, he felt as if he had been abandoned by the whole world, lonely and nowhere to escape. Only in Ichiraku Ramen restaurant could he find a trace of warmth and comfort. Uncle Ichiraku here always greeted him with a smile, and never had any prejudice against him because of him. But today, there was another young man. The other person's eyes seemed to recognize him, but there was no disgust. Was that friendly? Although he only glanced at Lin Mo, Uzumaki Naruto was still very keenly aware that the other person did not have any disgust, which was completely different from the eyes of the villagers before. Okay. At this time, Uncle Ichiraku smiled and brought him a new bowl of ramen. The steaming ramen exuded an attractive aroma, which made Naruto's mood slightly better. He took a deep breath, raised his chopsticks, and began to eat the noodles carefully. While eating, he still lowered his head, trying not to pay attention to the eyes around him. For him, this bowl of ramen is not only food to fill his stomach, but also a kind of spiritual comfort. Naruto, eat more, your body will be strong. The uncle's voice was warm and kind, which warmed Naruto's heart. He raised his head and forced a smile, thank you uncle. While speaking, Uzumaki Naruto turned his head and peeked at Lin Mo again. Lin Mo was just looking away, and when he saw Uzumaki Naruto looking over, he immediately smiled and nodded. He really doesn't hate me. Seeing Lin Mo smiling at him, Uzumaki Naruto was suddenly surprised. He was definitely not mistaken. For the second time, there was no dislike or disgust in the other person's eyes. It was not the kind of indifferent look that other strangers had when they saw him. It was not the disgusting look of the villagers. For a moment, Uzumaki Naruto wanted to come forward and communicate. However, seeing Lin Mo eating ramen again, Uzumaki Naruto was silent for a while, then shrank back and lowered his head to eat ramen. In this way, Uzumaki Naruto secretly looked at Lin Mo and sized him up while eating ramen. While Lin Mo was eating ramen, he chatted with Yil, are there any entertainment facilities in Konoha Village? Entertainment? Just playing cards. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Yil raised his eyebrows and said with a smile, on ordinary days, everyone just soaks in hot springs or watches small stage plays, but many plays are now old, and I don't know when the next new play will be. Speaking of this, Ichiraku sighed. Alternatively, brother, you can go to the bookstore. The bookstore is also quite good. There are also rap performances. I don't usually play much, I am busy making ramen. If you really want to find entertainment, you can post a mission and let the ninjas of Konoha Village take you around. Hearing Yil's words, Lin Mo nodded and didn't ask any more questions. What Ichiraku said made him slightly attracted to the hot springs. Immediately, Lin Mo continued to pull the ramen and prepared to finish eating and go back. If you are lucky today, Hinata will bring someone to open the jar. Lin Mo was thinking this while eating ramen. The other side. The entrance to the jar shop. The arriving Hinata Hazu looked at the closed store door in front of him and frowned. You are here, why is the store closed? Are you ready to open it? Still, Hinata Hiyashi stood in a shadowed corner of the room nearby, lost in thought. While he was coming all the way, he was still wondering who this person was and why he was selling such a magical jar. Sharingan and other things can be collected and sold, which is still understandable to him. But opening a store so blatantly is incomprehensible. Later, even the so-called chakra attribute, which can be fused with the Sharingan by just touching it, was something he couldn't understand. He came here this time also to visit this person. Judging from Hinata and Hanabi's situation, this one seems to be doing charity. Just wait a little longer. Thinking of Hanabi's Sharingan, Hinata squinted their eyes and stood in the corner and waited quietly. I'm full. Ichiraku Ramen Restaurant. Lin Mo put down the empty bowl in his hand, smiled and paid the bill, said something to the hand-beating uncle, and left. Not long after Lin Mo walked out of Ichiraku Ramen Restaurant, Uzumaki Naruto followed him without hesitation. Meeting someone who didn't hate him and greeted him, Uzumaki Naruto was really curious about Lin Mo. If possible, he wanted to talk to Lin Mo. Now watching Lin Mo leave, he still followed him secretly. After leaving the ramen restaurant, Lin Mo walked and stopped along the way, browsing the environment of this Konoha street. Finally successfully returned to the jar shop. This strength seems very weak. Outside the jar shop, in the shadow next to it, Hyuga Hiyashi looked at the arrival of Lin Mo and was stunned. Especially when he saw Lin Mo open the door and walk into the jar shop, he was shocked. This young man is the owner of this shop. Although he knew from Hanabi and Hinata that Linmo was very young, he really didn't expect that he would be so young. He was only a few years older than Hinata, right? The most important thing was the opponent's strength. He only felt that he was not strong, but very weak. If it was divided, it was the level of genin. Are these jars something that genin can sell? Hinata Hiyashi, who was thinking, suddenly saw Uzumaki Naruto sneaking in not far away, and his eyelids twitched. Isn't this the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki? Why did he follow? Without any hesitation, Hinata Hiyashi decisively walked into the jar shop. Since this person is really the owner, he really wants to communicate face to face. After entering the jar shop, Hinata Hiyashi also habitually opened his eyes. Linmo, who was just opening the door and walking in and had not yet sat down, immediately saw Hinata Hiyashi walking in and was immediately surprised. Did this guy come so fast? He didn't bring Hinata and Hanabi with him. The Hyuga Hiyashi who came in had already roughly scanned the jars on the shelf with his eyes and found that these jars were ordinary and nothing special. But he couldn't see through the jars, which made Hyuga Hiyashi narrow his eyes suddenly. It was really mysterious, even the eyes couldn't see through it. Hello. Seeing Linmo's eyes looking at him, Hyuga Hiyashi nodded gently. I am the father of Hinata and Hanabi, because they came here specially. The head of the Hyuga family, I naturally know. Hearing Hyuga Hiyashi's words, Linmo nodded. It's our first meeting, hello. Since you are here, you should come for the jars. Hinata should have told you, and I won't repeat the rules. I came for Hanabi's eyes. Hyuga Hiyashi looked at Linmo who was very casual with him, and said, I don't know where you are from, owner. What is your purpose in selling these jars in Konoha Village? This is also what he wanted to ask the most. My purpose is to sell jars. Hearing what Hyuga Hiyashi said, Linmo laughed dumbly. As for where it comes from, it is naturally a very far place, you don't need to know. You just need to know that anyone can buy jars from me, I sell jars to everyone. He didn't want to answer this kind of question anymore. Hyuga Hiyashi was silent after hearing what Linmo said. Linmo's two sentences seemed to have said nothing, but he said it again. But after a while of silence, Hyuga Hiyashi said softly, since you, the owner, sell such magical jars, I wonder if you are willing to sell them to our Hyuga clan. Sell them all to our Hyuga clan directly, and our Hyuga clan will take them all. Since he couldn't get any information about Linmo, Hyuga Hiyashi decisively changed his mind. Since Linmo is selling jars, he can take them all. You can ask your Hyuga clan to come and buy jars. Linmo chuckled. You can't monopolize it. My jars are only sold in the store. If you want to open them, come to my store. As for going out. Speaking of this, Linmo shook his head. Even he didn't have the right to smash these jars, let alone take them out. Hyuga Hiyashi actually wanted to come directly to buy all of them, which made Linmo a little speechless. Hearing Linmo's words, Hyuga Hiyashi was silent. If you only come to this store to buy, it seems that there is no competitiveness. He was still thinking that since Linmo was willing to sell jars, he could change his mindset, but the facts proved that this idea didn't work. As for bringing the clan members to open them, that was naturally impossible. Even if he didn't open the jars, after understanding the jars, he knew that these jars were enough to drive people crazy. He didn't think about robbing them either. Even though this person looks like just a genin, since he sells these magical jars, he must have the so-called confidence. Instead of thinking about buying more jars, it is better to open a few yourself. Linmo looked at Hyuga Hiyashi and slowly said, before my store is popular, the person who opens the jar first will naturally be ahead of others. The later you open the jar, the less advantage you will have. To be honest, before you came, only Hinata and Hanabi came to my jar shop, and you are the first batch of customers. But if it's 2 days later, I'm afraid there will be a second batch of customers. As Linmo spoke, Hyuga Hiyashi's face gradually became solemn. It is undeniable that what Linmo said was indeed correct. The most important thing at present is to open the jar first. Since Linmo can't understand too much information, the most urgent thing is to open the jar first. Thinking of this, Hyuga Hiyashi asked, then I wonder if the owner can explain to me what is in these jars. Change the chakra attribute qualifications of civilians. Better quality blades. Chakra for ninja training. Apart from this, are there other things? Can you introduce them to me? Hyuga Hiyashi really wants to know, apart from these, what else is in the jar? There are too many things. Everything you can think of and everything you can't think of will be opened in the jar. Hearing Hyuga Hiyashi's words, Linmo chuckled. Some things you may not understand if I tell you, so I will tell you what you understand. Whether it is ninjutsu or tailed beasts, they can be opened. There are also artifacts of the Six-Path Sage. Whatever you can think of, as long as it exists in this world, it can be opened. Some things from other worlds, Hyuga Hiyashi will definitely have no concept. So he picked some simple and easy to understand things to say. If Hyuga Hiyashi opens something that is not from the Naruto world, then I will introduce it to him later. What? Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hyuga Hiyashi was shocked. Tailed beasts. Can they also be opened from this jar? How is this possible? He knows the gold content of tailed beasts very well. Can such a thing be opened from a jar? Hinata Hiyashi looked at the jars and fell silent. How could such a small jar bring out such a big tailed beast? Unless it is sealed and compressed. The most important thing is that this young man doesn't care about these things. His casual attitude makes it seem that the tailed beast is really an unimportant thing in the jar. Seeing Lin Mo's expression, Hinata took a deep breath and said, "Shop owner, please wait a moment. I've decided to open these jars. I'll go back and get the money." With that said, Hinata Hazu turned around and left. The reason why he came here just now was because he wanted to get in touch with this person, and he didn't want to open the can on the spot. Now that he has come into contact, he naturally wants to open the can, but naturally he does not carry that much money with him. Just when Hinata Hazu left the entrance of the jar shop, Uzumaki Naruto stuck his head in. I was stunned when I saw the jars on the counter. A store that sells jars. It looks like a grocery store, but this store only has cans. While Uzumaki Naruto was looking at it, Linmo looked at Uzumaki Naruto, who came in with interest. "Little guy, do you want to open the can? I have jars at home." Hearing Linmo's words, Uzumaki Naruto scratched his head. "There is nothing that needs to be put in jars. There are a bunch of these broken jars in my home. No, this jar is not for holding things." Linmo chuckled and said, "In this jar, there are all kinds of things, whether it's instant noodles, milk, or you want ninjutsu. For example, if you fail the school graduation exam, there must be a reason. But as long as you open the jar and prescribe the relevant ninjutsu, you can learn it instantly and pass the exam. To be more specific, you haven't learned the clone technique, but you can create the experience light group of the clone technique. After fusion, you can master the clone technique from scratch in an instant." In Linmo's view, today's Uzumaki Naruto has not graduated, and this situation can be directly used as an example. What? When Uzumaki Naruto heard Linmo's words, his eyes widened in disbelief. "Can you learn ninjutsu without studying? That's nonsense. Any ninjutsu needs to be practiced before it can be mastered. Now this shop owner says that it can be mastered without learning." "Certainly," Linmo chuckled. "If you don't believe it, you can open a few cans. Whether it's ninjutsu or chakra, there will be a chance for you to open it." "Good." Hearing Linmo's words, Uzumaki Naruto was excited. "Then I will open the can now. I am worried about how to pass the graduation exam." Unexpectedly, I now see hope. "So, 100,000 taels per jar, how many are you going to open?" Linmo spoke slowly. "One person can only open 10 jars in 7 days. "What? 100,000 taels?" Hearing Linmo's words, the excited Uzumaki Naruto's face turned green. "Are you blackmailing me? Even if you don't spend much money, you still know that 100,000 taels is a huge number. How could I blackmail you?" Linmo chuckled and said, "Whether you want to open the jar is up to you, not me. I'm just telling you the value of opening the jar. Think about it, if you opened a jar and found out the ninjutsu, and mastered it instantly, it would only cost you 100,000 taels. Is it expensive? But this is too expensive." Uzumaki Naruto puffed his face. "Do you know how much 100,000 taels is? Uncle Ichiraku's special ramen noodles only cost 80 taels per bowl. Your jar costs 100,000 taels per bowl. Do you know how many bowls of ramen you can buy with this?" "Enough." As he spoke, Uzumaki Naruto opened his palms and counted on his fingers. 10 bowls of 800, 100 bowls of 8,000, 1,000. As Uzumaki Naruto counted, Uzumaki Naruto's face turned greener and greener. More than 1,000 bowls of Ichiraku ramen. You can eat it until you vomit. Can't even think about it. I haven't eaten this much ramen in all these years. Too expensive. Uzumaki Naruto lowered his head dejectedly. If I open the can, I won't have money to buy paint. I still want to paint the Hokage rock. Linmo looked strange when he heard Uzumaki Naruto's words. What the hell? What Uzumaki Naruto means is that he has the money to open the jar. This is not a small sum, Uzumaki Naruto actually has it. This was beyond Linmo's expectation. Is Naruto Uzumaki so rich? Just apply the fire shadow rock. Thinking of the original plot, Linmo's expression became even weirder. Buy paint and pass the graduation exam. At this time, Uzumaki Naruto opened his hands and muttered, seeming to be calculating which one was worth it. Shopkeeper, here I come. At this moment, Hinata Hazu walked into the jar shop again. In Hinata Hazu's hand, he also held a money bag. But the next second, Hinata Hiyashi who walked in saw Uzumaki Naruto and suddenly narrowed his eyes. Why did even the Kyuubi Jinchuriki come to this shop? Shopkeeper, can I not let others be present when I open the can? Thinking of the contents in the jar, Hinata Hinashi frowned slightly and made a sound. At present, no one knows about this magical jar shop. If someone sees me opening jars in this jar shop and then advertises it, I will be in trouble. Not to mention, it is the nine-tailed Jinchuriki who has received much attention from Konoha. There is no such rule in my shop. Looking at Hyuga Hiyashi who came in, Linmo shook his head gently. Anyone who comes as a guest, how can I refuse a guest? Not to mention that I can't just leave my shop without doing business. Not to mention, Uzumaki Naruto still has money to buy jars. It's Hinata's dad. When Uzumaki Naruto saw Hyuga Hiyashi coming in, his eyes suddenly widened. He knows this guy, he is Hinata's dad. This is the patriarch of the Hyuga clan, a big shot. Every time I go to school, the teachers of the ninja school are respectful to this person. This person is here too. Is the jar that the owner of this shop said real? Uzumaki Naruto looked at Linmo in shock. Wasn't this guy deceiving himself? Originally, he wanted to open the jar because this person didn't hate him. He was one of the few people who didn't hate him, so he wanted to talk to this person. But the other party was a shop owner, so he wanted to buy his things to increase his recognition of himself and make him willing to be friends with him. Although the price was very expensive. But he didn't take the jar seriously. But now, Hyuga Hinata's father came, and he wanted to open this jar. If this jar was fake, how could Hyuga Hiyashi come? So Uzumaki Naruto was very shocked. Looking at the look coming from Hyuga Hiyashi, Uzumaki Naruto hurriedly said, I won't tell anyone. Hyuga Hiyashi ignored Naruto's words, but handed the purse to Linmo. Shopkeeper, this is 1,000,000 taels, I'll open 10 jars. Since this shopkeeper said he wouldn't drive them away, he didn't care. The most urgent thing is to open the jars first. Seeing Hyuga Hiyashi's actions and words, Uzumaki Naruto took a breath. Take out 1,000,000 taels now. After Linmo took the money, he nodded and said, choose. Hyuga Hiyashi didn't bring Hinata and Hanabi with him, which was beyond his expectation. After hearing Linmo's words, Hyuga Hiyashi immediately looked at the jars on the counter. Since he came in, he has been opening his Byakugan, but even so, he can't see what's in the jars. This is incredible in the eyes of Byakugan. At a glance, it was found that these jars were exactly the same, with no difference. Immediately, Hyuga Hiyashi pointed directly at the row of choices on the right. Before Hyuga Hiyashi finished his selection and stepped forward, Linmo waved his hand, and the jar selected by Hyuga Hiyashi flew out silently and landed steadily in front of Hyuga Hiyashi. In the store, customers can touch the jars they choose or operate them by themselves. When Hyuga Hiyashi saw this scene, his pupils suddenly shrank and he was shocked. What kind of means is this? This kind of pulling force, without the appearance of any chakra, is simply a magical skill. This person is indeed not as simple as he sees on the surface. In an instant, Hyuga Hiyashi made a judgment in his heart. Even he couldn't pull things through the air, even without chakra. The next second, Hyuga Hiyashi looked at the jars he was choosing in front of him. Without any hesitation, he decisively reached out and smashed the first one. Bang! The first jar broke, and a blue ball of light fell down. Seeing this blue ball of light, Hyuga Hiyashi instantly thought of what Hyuga Hinata said. The blue ball of light is the attribute of chakra, and the amount of chakra of ninja. Chakra of genin comes from the chakra practiced by a certain genin. After fusion, it can instantly add its own chakra and increase the chakra of genin level. At this time, Lin Mo looked at the blue ball of light opened by Hyuga Hiyashi, nodded and said, "This is genin chakra. After touching it, you can get the corresponding amount of chakra. For you, it is dispensable, but it is not without gain. Hyuga Hiyashi must not be a genin. This amount of chakra must be a drop in the bucket for Hyuga Hiyashi. But even so, it is not without gain. After all, this amount of chakra can be superimposed." Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hyuga Hiyashi immediately reached out and fused this blue ball of light. In an instant, Hyuga Hiyashi felt that the blue light ball turned into a warm current and flowed into his body, increasing the amount of chakra in his body. Sure enough, feeling the feeling of gaining chakra out of thin air, Hyuga Hiyashi took a deep breath. Only by experiencing it yourself can you understand this feeling. You can gain chakra without practicing, which is basically a way to mass-produce ninjas. Thinking so, Hyuga Hiyashi continued to knock on the next jar. Bang! The second jar broke, and a white light ball fell down. White light ball. Seeing this white light ball, Hyuga Hiyashi was stunned and subconsciously looked at Lin Mo. "Shopkeeper, what is this? I haven't heard Hinata say that there is a white light ball." One-handed sword training experience. One-handed sword training experience from swordsmanship enthusiasts. After fusion, you can get training and enhance your control over the one-handed sword. The simple introduction made Lin Mo raise his eyebrows. One-handed sword. There don't seem to be many ninjas using one-handed swords. This is the training experience of the one-handed sword. Immediately, Lin Mo said, "It can allow you to skip the stage of your own training and get results. You will know the specific effect after you merge it." Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hyuga Hiyashi did not hesitate at all, and decisively reached out to touch the white experience light ball. In an instant, Hyuga Hiyashi felt that in an instant, he saw a person holding a one-handed sword and many people fighting. This scene happened in an instant and disappeared. Hyuga Hiyashi only felt an instant, and these fragments became his distant memory. "I felt something in an instant." Hyuga Hiyashi stretched out his hand in surprise, feeling the changes in his right hand. As the head of the Hyuga clan, he is most familiar with his own changes. It's just that he just merged with the white light ball, and there are traces of training on his hands. These traces appeared completely out of thin air, but he has some skills with the one-handed sword. The jar is really magical. With these experience light balls, if they are continuously merged, there is no need to train at all, and you can become a strong man directly. After 2 consecutive experience light balls, Hinata Hiyashi felt that this jar was really magical. Looking at the remaining jars, Hinata Hiyashi decisively continued to knock them open. With 2 bangs, 2 more jars broke. This time, a black ball and a scroll fell down. Specially made Bingliang pill. After eating, it can instantly enhance chakra and restore chakra, but eating too much will cause indigestion, so it is not advisable to eat too much. C-level ninjutsu scroll records the high difficulty ninjutsu of level C. Fire style. Great fireball technique, which uses chakra to gather in the throat and spews a huge fireball from the mouth to the front, blowing the enemy into the air. You can practice according to the method on the scroll, and you will definitely be able to practice successfully. The 2 simple introductions made Lin Mo raise his eyebrows. The ninjutsu scroll of fire style, what a good thing. Unfortunately, it is not of wind attribute. Bingliang pill and ninjutsu scroll. At this time, Hyuga Hiyashi also saw what he had opened and narrowed his eyes. As expected, as the owner said, even the ninjutsu scroll can be opened from the jar. You know, ninjutsu scrolls are also family heirlooms for ninjas. Some ninjas have qualifications, but they don't have ninjutsu and have no actual combat power. In order to obtain ninjutsu, many ninjas in the village constantly complete tasks in the village and exchange their merits for scrolls for practice. The scroll is the practice scroll of fire style, great fireball technique. I won't say much about the other Hyoryuma. Lin Mo said, for the Hyuga clan, there should also be scrolls like Fire Style, Great Fireball Technique. I don't need to teach you how to practice the scroll. There are not many members of the Hyuga clan who have fire attribute chakra. Hearing Lin Mo's words, the Hyuga clan whispered, but AC level ninjutsu scroll cannot be bought even on the market, unless it is on some black markets. You know, C level ninjutsu is a ninjutsu of the Chunin level. The difficulty of learning and the requirement for ninja chakra are one level higher than the ninjutsu learned by genin. Similarly, the price is also very expensive. Not all Konoha Chunin can master this ninjutsu. When Hyuga Hiyashi spoke, Lin Mo was slightly surprised. Is AC level ninjutsu so valuable? He is not really clear about this. However, for some ninjas, knowing some ninjutsu is a family heirloom. Great Fireball. Hyuga Hiyashi has picked up the scroll of Fire Style, Great Fireball Technique and opened it to take a look. Looking at the extremely clear training method on it, he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. This is the famous ninjutsu of that clan. What a pity. After simply sorting out his thoughts, Hyuga Hiyashi continued to knock open the 5th and 6th jars. With 2 bangs, the 2 jars broke. 2 more things fell down. A detonating talisman and a bean. Hyuga Hiyashi looked at the bean in astonishment. Is his luck so bad? It turned out that such a thing could be opened, and beans could also be opened. While Hyuga Hiyashi was surprised, Lin Mo looked at what Hyuga Hiyashi opened with a surprised look. Waterproof detonating talisman. The volume of the surface combines the volume of 2 ordinary detonating talismans, and its power far exceeds that of ordinary detonating talismans. It has a certain waterproof performance and can trigger a short explosion even underwater. Senzu bean. A magical food from a certain world. Just eating one can keep you from being hungry for 10 days. It has a very strong recovery power. As long as a person is not dead, he can instantly restore his physical strength and energy in extreme fatigue and adjust his body to the best state. This thing is a good thing. Wait, this bean. Hyuga Hiyashi was just about to put the 2 things away, but the moment he got them, he noticed something wrong. This bean actually contains a kind of energy that he didn't know. This energy is very similar to the energy of life, but not like it. Good luck. Lin Mo said, I won't talk about the waterproof detonating talisman. The bean you opened is called Fairy Bean. Fairy Bean. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata Hiyashi looked at Lin Mo for the first time and said in surprise, what do you mean? The word, fairy, has no impression on him. The only thing he remembers is the spirit beast. There are many kinds of spirit beasts, and the powerful ones are called immortals, but it is just a respectful title. This is not something from your world. Lin Mo said slowly, this is a magical food. No matter who eats this fairy bean, they can go without food and water for 10 days without feeling the slightest hunger. Enhanced military ration pills. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata Hiyashi's pupils shrank sharply. Not eating or drinking for 10 days is a bit abnormal. Lin Mo continued to speak slowly. He also has a strong recovery ability. As long as the person is not dead, he can instantly recover his physical strength and energy in extreme fatigue and adjust his body to the best state. You can understand it as a seriously injured and dying ninja eating a senzu bean, then he can be resurrected with full blood. Hinata Hiyashi. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hiyashi was shocked. If this is the case, this is a very valuable thing. You know, even medical ninjutsu can't do this. And Lin Mo ignored Hiyashi's words and continued to narrate. Don't be surprised, I haven't finished yet. This thing also has disadvantages. The disadvantage is that it is ineffective against diseases. Senzu beans can restore physical strength and treat external and internal injuries, but they can't treat other diseases. Hearing the disadvantages of this thing, Hiyashi's face was solemn. Even so, the value of this thing is also exaggerated. In addition to their own chakra, the ninjas on the battlefield determine the victory or defeat. It is skills. This includes chakra power and physical strength. But now, there is such a thing that can instantly restore a ninja to his prime. This is probably only possible with the legendary Sage mode. Can such a small bean really have such a big effect? Hyuga Hiyashi looked at the senzu bean in his hand with some disbelief. This ordinary senzu bean is too far-fetched. But he believed that Lin Mo would not deceive him, and there was no need to deceive him. He immediately put the thing away like a treasure. If he had this thing at that time. Hyuga Hiyashi thought of something and his face was silent. And next to him, Uzumaki Naruto, who had been witnessing all this, had opened his mouth into an O shape. Because this jar was really beyond his expectations. The patriarch of the Hyuga clan, Hinata's father, opened several jars, and the things in them made him unheard of. Even if it was just a detonating talisman. But that thing was expensive. At this time, Hyuga Hiyashi breathed a sigh of relief. He already understood that there was something good hidden in this jar. Looking at the remaining 4 jars, he decisively continued to knock open 2 of them. Bang! 2 sounds. 2 jars broke, and 2 more things fell down. One is a wooden object. It has 2 leaves connected to a pole, and there is a joint under the pole to connect objects. The other is a palm-sized biscuit. However, the biscuit looks like a cat. These 2 things. Seeing that these 2 things look like snacks and toys for children, Hinata Hiyashi frowned at the first time. These are useless gadgets. And Linmo looked at the thing that Hinata Hiyashi opened, and his face became surprised. It turned out to be these 2 things. Bamboo dragonfly, just place it on any part of the body, and you can fly in the sky as you wish. It has a super small battery inside, and can fly continuously for 8 hours at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour. If it flies intermittently, it can last longer. Animal biscuits. After eating, the eater will transform into the animal shape of the biscuit, which will take effect quickly and will expire after 5 minutes. The simple introduction made Linmo sigh. These 2 things are very practical things. Hinata Hiyashi is lucky. Hinata Hiyashi didn't take it seriously at first, and was about to put the 2 things away without paying attention, when he suddenly noticed Linmo's expression and hesitated. Shopkeeper, could it be that these 2 things are not ordinary gadgets? If so, why would Linmo show such an expression? These 2 are not ordinary things. Hearing Hinata Hiyashi's words, Linmo smiled faintly. These 2 are very practical little props. A practical prop. After hearing Linmo's words, Hinata Hazu looked confused and didn't know why. Are these 2 gadgets practical? Especially the biscuits, aren't they just snacks? The first one is the bamboo dragonfly, which only needs to be worn on the head to fly. Linmo pointed at the bamboo dragonfly in Hinata Hazu's hand and said, just put it on your head and you can control the flight at will through your brain. No additional power is needed. You can go wherever you want. Wear it on your head and you can fly. Hearing Linmo's words, Hinata Hazu's pupils shrank sharply, and he subconsciously looked at the bamboo dragonfly. Just this gadget, you just need to wear it on your head and you can fly. It is a living aircraft. In fact, it can be placed anywhere on the body. The most commonly used one is on the top of the head. Linmo continued with a chuckle. It can fly continuously in the air at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour for 8 hours. In some cases, it can take 4 hours, and it can only move forward 640 kilometers. 640 kilometers. Hearing Linmo's words, Hinata Rizu's heart was filled with turmoil. Such a gadget has such an effect. As for the other ones, it's animals that turn into cookies. Ignoring Hinata and Hinata's shock, Linmo pointed at the animal-turned biscuits and continued to introduce, what kind of animal does the biscuit look like? After you eat it, you will turn into that animal. The time is 5 minutes. You can try it yourself. Quote. It's so magical. Upon hearing Linmo's words, Uzumaki Naruto suddenly became excited. With this animal cracker, wouldn't it be possible to go wherever you want? This is so interesting. Looking at the excited Uzumaki Naruto, Hinata Hazu reached out and put away these 2 things with an expressionless face. He drove it by himself. What is this little guy excited about? I'll give it a try myself when I get back. Thinking this over and over again, Hinata Hiyashi looked at the last 2 jars and decisively opened them all. Bang bang, twice. The last 2 jars shattered, and a blue light ball and an old saw fell down. Chunin level chakra. The chakra that comes from the painstaking training of a certain Chunin can instantly superimpose its own chakra after fusion, increasing the chakra of the Chunin level. A saw with broken teeth. A saw with broken teeth. The only thing that can cut through it may be your patience. Linmo couldn't help but marvel at the simple introduction and looked at the blue light group. The amount of chakra a Chunin has far exceeds that of a genin. When Hinata Hazu saw the blue light group, his expression was extremely surprised. Another blue light group. Shopkeeper, is this also a ninja's chakra light group? Immediately, Hinata Hazu looked at Lin Mo impatiently and asked quickly. Because he knew that the blue light group released here would not only release Genin level chakra. Chunin and Junin can also be used. The blue light group does not mean that there is only Genin level chakra. Good. Hearing Hinata Hazu's words, Lin Mo nodded, and this is Chunin level chakra, you are lucky. As for the other old saw that is of no use, I won't introduce it further. Chunin. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata Hazu looked surprised and decisively reached out to touch the blue light group. In an instant, a Chunin level chakra that was greater than the amount of chakra absorbed before poured into the body, making Hinata Hazashi feel joy. Because the amount of chakra of a Chunin level is of great benefit to him. After all, that was a Chunin. At this point, Hinata has opened 10 jars. After thinking about the jars he opened, Hinata Rizu looked at Lin Mo seriously and said seriously, Shopkeeper, I am willing to pay double or even multiple times the price to buy the jars from you. Do you think so? Although he heard Lin Mo say that one person can only open 10 cans, he still asked with some expectation. Having already experienced opening a jar, he deeply knows the value of this jar. He can't explain it, but it can make himself stronger and his family stronger. Just thinking about it makes him have the urge to smash all the jars. Rules are rules. Hearing what Hinata and Hiyashi said, Lin Mo shook his head slightly and said, if you want to open more jars, you can ask your Hyuga clan members to open the jars. Wouldn't it be better to just order someone to open the can? Anyway, he is the patriarch. But seeing Hinata Rizu like this, Lin Mo instantly knew that Hinata Rizu didn't want people to know that he was opening the can. Not even willing to tell your own tribe. Are you afraid of losing control? But now that you are the leader of the clan, you have no confidence, like dead soldiers. Well, after hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata Hazu sighed. If only it was like what Lin Mo said, that would be great. Why didn't he bring his clan members over to open the jar? Besides coming over first to check the situation. The second thing is that he is afraid of chaos. Suddenly, Hinata thought of something, his face suddenly became solemn, and he quickly asked, Shopkeeper, since you can open the Sharingan here, can you also open the Byakugan of our Hyuga family, right? Although he already knew it in advance, Hinata Hazu still wanted to ask for sure. Because this matter is really too important to him. Of course, hearing the words that Hinata Hiyashi had asked again, Lin Mo was speechless. Not only the white eyes, but also the seal and unseal methods of the caged bird of your Hinata clan can be opened. There is nothing you can't open, only you can't think of it. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Hinata Hiyashi's mood sank again. The way to unseal the caged bird can be opened, which is very bad news for him. Although it sounds like a fairy tale, he has experienced opening a jar and already knows that what Lin Mo said must be true. Since Lin Mo said there must be. Thinking of some people from the branch family who had to succumb to the caged bird seal, Hinata Hiyashi only felt a headache. Alas, Hinata Hiyashi's face was uncertain, and it took a long time before he slowly relaxed. But he still sighed in his heart. This trip today completely disrupted his thoughts. I have finished opening the jars. Goodbye, shopkeeper. Immediately, Hyuga Hiyashi said in a deep voice, I will continue to bring people to open jars. After that, Hyuga Hiyashi turned and left. But when he turned and left, his eyes swept over Uzumaki Naruto, with a strong warning in his eyes. Uzumaki Naruto. He didn't provoke this guy. Why did this guy look at him so sternly before leaving? Seeing Hinata Hazashi leaving, Uzumaki Naruto was speechless. So, what about you? Lin Mo didn't care about Hinata and Hinata's departure, but looked at Uzumaki Naruto and chuckled, open the can. Open. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Uzumaki Naruto nodded without thinking, but I can't drive that much. 10 jars cost 1 million taels, and he didn't have that much money. But there is still a small amount. Fortunately I brought my wallet with me this time. The next second, Uzumaki Naruto took out a wallet from his pants pocket. The wallet was opened, and there was a pile of money inside, which made Lin Mo look weird. Uzumaki Naruto, is he so rich? I want to count how much money I have first. Uzumaki Naruto muttered as he began to count the money. Soon, Uzumaki Naruto counted how much money was in his wallet. A full 130,000. 130,000 can only open one jar. Uzumaki Naruto scratched his head, looked up at Linmo, and quickly asked, "Shopkeeper, I still have some money at home, and I should be able to open another can. Can I open 2 cans first? After I finish opening it, I will give you the money you." "Of course not." Hearing Uzumaki Naruto's words, Linmo shook his head. "Our store cannot accept credit, but where did you get so much money?" As he spoke, Linmo changed the subject and looked at Uzumaki Naruto's wallet with a strange expression. "This kid drinks expired milk and eats expired bread. How can he have so much money? If it were anyone else, he would understand 1 or 200,000. But Uzumaki Naruto shouldn't be so rich, because no one sells anything to me." Hearing Linmo's words, Uzumaki Naruto lowered his head and felt a little frustrated. "I couldn't buy anything, so I slowly saved my money. I can only spend my money at Ichiraku Ramen." "I see." Hearing Uzumaki Naruto's words, Linmo suddenly understood. In this way, it makes sense. The residents of Konoha Village have an unwritten rule, that is, the identity of Naruto Uzumaki must not be mentioned. The residents of Konoha Village only know that Uzumaki Naruto is a demon fox, but they don't know that he is a 9-tailed Jinchuriki. Although his identity cannot be mentioned, he is also extremely disgusted. At the same time, he will not sell Uzumaki Naruto's things or do Uzumaki Naruto's business. As a result, Uzumaki Naruto is in a situation where he has money but cannot spend it. But even so, after all these years, it is only 1 or 200,000, and it is only 10 or 20,000 a year. 1,000 a month on average. And a bowl of Ichiraku ramen starts at 80. Linmo did a simple calculation in his mind. This is completely within a very average range. Then I'll open one first. The next second, Uzumaki Naruto raised his smile again and said with a smile, "Shopkeeper, can I ask again, can I really learn ninjutsu that I don't know by opening a jar and graduate from ninja school?" He had seen Hinata open a jar before, but only chakra was opened, not the light ball of ninjutsu. There were only ninjutsu scrolls, but ninjutsu scrolls still had to be learned, which made him hesitate. "Certainly." Linmo nodded. "But sometimes you can't use your ninjutsu, it doesn't mean you don't know it." Having said this, Linmo paused and said, "You are a genius, haven't you ever discovered that your chakra can be uncontrolled?" "Right." Hearing Linmo's words, Uzumaki Naruto's pupils suddenly widened and said hurriedly, "Shopkeeper, you are right. Sometimes I can't control my chakra at all. I told Mr. Iruka, but Mr. Iruka just let me practice more. Owner, do you know the reason? His body has been different from ordinary people since he was a child, and he has noticed it. But he never dared to say it. Even Iruka-sensei didn't dare to say it. The scrapes he had when he was a child healed quickly, which frightened him so much that he kept it secret. In addition, everyone always hated him, which made him feel extremely inferior and dared not tell anyone. But now, this young shop owner said it out loud. Shopkeeper, can you tell me?" Uzumaki Naruto looked at Linmo eagerly. "You must know whether this is right or not." Linmo nodded slightly. "In the final analysis, it is still the 9 tails in your body that is responsible." For Linmo, there is nothing that cannot be said. And he also believed that Uzumaki Naruto could accept it. After all, even without saying it himself, Uzumaki Naruto could know it from Mizuki's mouth. He was just letting Uzumaki Naruto know in advance. Kyuubi inside me. After hearing Linmo's words, Uzumaki Naruto was confused. "Do you know why the people in Konoha Village hate you? Because there is an unwritten rule that binds everyone." Looking at the confused Uzumaki Naruto, Linmo slowly said, "That is the rule that you must not mention that you are a demon fox." Upon hearing Linmo's words, Uzumaki Naruto's expression changed drastically. "Am I a demon fox?" "Of course you are not a demon fox. The demon fox is just sealed in your body. You are a container, that is, a Jinchuriki container." Linmo chuckled and said, "In the ninja world, tailed beasts are strategic resources. They are protected by the village and kept secret, but they are also hated and feared by others. Ordinary people don't know about tailed beast Jinchuriki. This is a secret in any ninja village. But ordinary people don't know, but ninjas definitely know. The 9 tails is sealed in your body. That tailed beast is very powerful, so it will affect you unconsciously. You should have experienced it since childhood. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Uzumaki Naruto was silent. So, that's the case. Is this the reason? He has been doing idiotic things because he doesn't want to be a transparent person. But the people in the village treat him as a transparent person. He has asked more than once. But teacher Iruka told him that it was because he had not been recognized by everyone and he had to make everyone recognize him. The third-generation grandfather also told him that it would be fine only if he was recognized by everyone. But now, it turns out that the truth has always been like this. He has been deceived. He did not doubt what this shopkeeper said. What this person said completely made him understand a lot of confusion in his mind instantly. But why did you seal that demon fox monster in my body? The next second, Uzumaki Naruto looked up in confusion and said, even if you become a Jinchuriki, it's for the village and you will be protected by the village, so why didn't you tell me about this? You even hid it from me. This is something Uzumaki Naruto can't understand. Why seal it in his body? If it's for the village, if you seal it, then he has no objection. But why even this matter is hidden from him? It's because he doesn't know this truth that he doesn't understand and is confused about what he has experienced over the years. Even if he asks, he won't tell him. Why is this? Because of your physique and your identity. Looking at the confused Uzumaki Naruto, Lin Mo said, ordinary people's physiques cannot seal tailed beasts. Even a Jinchuriki who wants to become a tailed beast needs qualifications, which ordinary civilians do not have. Quote, do you know why your last name is Uzumaki? Swirl. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Uzumaki Naruto felt depressed, but still asked in a low voice, why? Because of your mother. Lin Mo spoke slowly. Your mother, Uzumaki Kushina, possesses the powerful vitality unique to the Uzumaki clan, and has innate powerful and special chakra that can suppress tailed beasts. As her child, you have also inherited this and are the most suitable container for the tailed beast. My mother. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Uzumaki Naruto suddenly became excited. Does the shop owner know where my mother is? I'm not an orphan. Who is my father? He actually has a mother. He always thought he was an orphan, but the shop owner now said otherwise. I still have a mother. Thinking of the classmates in the ninja school, almost all of them had parents, but he didn't. He always thought that he was an orphan. As a result, now, it is not. What about his mother? Where has his father gone? This shopkeeper must know. For a moment, Uzumaki Naruto looked at Lin Mo eagerly, looking forward to Lin Mo's answer. Your mother has passed away, and so has your father. Lin Mo said calmly. Of course, it's not impossible for you to see your mother dead. Naruto Uzumaki looked depressed when he heard Lin Mo's words, but after hearing the next words, he looked up in confusion. They are all dead, how can I still see him? Because your father sacrificed his life to seal half of the Kyuubi's chakra as well as his and your mother's final chakra in your body, so that they could all accompany your growth in your body. Quote. And set up sealing procedures so that they can give you the greatest help at the two most critical and critical moments. You have always grown up with your parents, but you don't know it. Is that so? After hearing Lin Mo's words, Uzumaki Naruto subconsciously touched his belly, feeling a little sluggish. After a long while, Uzumaki Naruto raised his head and whispered, then what is my father's name? Shouldn't I follow my father's surname? Is my father's surname also Uzumaki? No, your father is the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. Lin Mo narrowed his eyes. As for why the surname is Uzumaki, it is naturally to avoid suspicion. Do you think that after the death of the fourth Hokage, if you have the same surname as the fourth Hokage, others will not guess? But why don't I know the truth that I am a Jinchuriki? Uzumaki Naruto clenched his fist slightly. I don't even have the right to know. Was my mother the same as me back then? You have to ask the third generation about this. Lin Mo shook his head. As for your mother, the identity of the Jinchuriki is not known to others. Only the top management of Konoha knows about the replacement of the Jinchuriki, not even the Sannin of Konoha. Therefore, your mother Kushina is almost unknown in Konoha Village. I have not been discriminated against and excluded by the villagers like you. That's it. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Uzumaki Naruto felt a little relieved, but only a little. The words he received from the shop owner today really made his brain dizzy. The fourth Hokage is actually his father. While he was excited, he quickly felt depressed. Even though he was the Hokage's child, he was hated by the villagers. No one would believe him even if he told him. They will only think that they are demon foxes. It turns out that I was born as a container, but I am much less lucky than my mother. Uzumaki Naruto sighed and asked in a low voice, "Did my mother know it was a container back then?" No, Lin Mo nodded. She was born in the Uzumaki country, Uzumaki Hidden Village. She is a member of the Uzumaki clan. Due to her special constitution, she was brought to the Hidden Leaves village of the country of fire and became the second Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Under the guidance of the first Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, I learned the truth. The country of Uzumaki Uzushio Hidden Village. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Uzumaki Naruto's eyes brightened. So, the Uzumaki country and Uzushio Hidden Village is also my home. My family. Shopkeeper, do you know how to get to the Uzumaki country? He is not an orphan, he still has family members. For a moment, Uzumaki Naruto wanted to go to the Kingdom of Whirlpool. Good. Lin Mo nodded and continued, but the Kingdom of Whirlpool has been destroyed. Upon hearing this, the bright-eyed Uzumaki Naruto looked stunned. Perish, because other ethnic groups in the ninja world were afraid of the sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan. Many countries and ethnic groups launched attacks on the Kingdom of Uzumaki, resulting in the tragic destruction of the Kingdom of Uzumaki. The surviving tribesmen became anonymous and scattered around the world. Lin Mo continued. Members with pure family bloodline all have red hair. When chakra is consumed excessively, the hair will turn white. If you see a person with red hair in the future, then he is from the Uzumaki clan. They are also your tribe. That's it. After listening to Lin Mo's words, Uzumaki Naruto felt depressed again. Both father and mother died, and the country was shattered. There were only a few scattered tribesmen living anonymously in various places. If you want to see your father and mother, come and open the can every week. Looking at the depressed Uzumaki Naruto, Lin Mo chuckled and said, because there are also things in the can that can revive, and there are also other strange things that can make you easily see your mother, or communicate with your parents, or even revive your parents. I won't lie to you about this. I want to open the can. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Uzumaki Naruto took a deep breath and clenched his fists. I want to see my parents. As long as you open the can, you can revive your dead parents. It sounds like a fantasy, but he believes that the owner will not deceive himself. So Uzumaki Naruto quickly handed his money to Lin Mo. Then, under Lin Mo's instructions, he picked up the can. Please, please. Looking at the can that Lin Mo waved his hand and automatically flew to him and fell, Uzumaki Naruto clasped his hands and muttered. Then he decisively stretched out his fist. Bang! The can broke, and a blue light ball fell down. Uzumaki Naruto was stunned. Chakra light ball. When he recognized it, Uzumaki Naruto was delighted. If he had extra chakra, he could use a lot of chakra to activate the transformation technique. Not really. Compared to the delighted Uzumaki Naruto, Lin Mo shook his head with a strange expression. This is a transformation costume. Ninja Turtles transformation costume. It comes from the sewer of an unknown world. Once it is fused, you can change your appearance into that of a Ninja Turtles. The duration of the effect depends on the amount of energy used. Please test it yourself for the specific effect. Looking at the introduction of this thing, Lin Mo's eyelids twitched violently. If he remembered correctly, the transformation costume of the Ninja Turtles was ugly. At this time, Uzumaki Naruto heard Lin Mo's words, looked up with a confused face, and said, "Shopkeeper, what is the transformation costume?" He had no idea about it at all. You can understand it as a kind of transformation technique. Lin Mo said calmly, how much chakra you have, how long you can maintain this transformation costume, and you will know the specifics after you merge it. A kind of transformation technique. Hearing Lin Mo's words, Uzumaki Naruto's eyes lit up. Without any hesitation, he immediately reached out to touch the blue light ball. In an instant, Uzumaki Naruto felt a warm current flowing into his body, making him feel it very clearly. At the same time, a memory appeared out of thin air, allowing Uzumaki Naruto to digest it instantly. However, after digesting it, Uzumaki Naruto suddenly widened his eyes. This transformation technique actually does not require hand seals. He knows that any ninjutsu requires hand seals. Now the transformation technique prescribed by the store owner does not require hand seals. While being shocked, Uzumaki Naruto immediately moved his mind, and suddenly, bang, he turned into a ninja turtle. I saw that his figure instantly became tall and strong, his whole body covered with green tough skin, and his muscles were clearly defined. The yellow shell on his chest shone in the light, looking very strong. The raised tortoise shell on the back was thick and solid, giving people a feeling of being indestructible. He had a red eye mask tied on his head, revealing only a sharp look, which looked particularly majestic. A brown belt tied around his waist gave people a feeling of being ready for battle. Linmo. Looking at the ninja turtle that Uzumaki Naruto had turned into, Linmo's mouth twitched slightly. This thing, he would never melt it even if he was beaten to death. It's too ugly. However, he recognized the character that Uzumaki Naruto transformed into, which turned out to be Raphael. The turtle had a hot temper, but was honest and kind, hated evil, and liked red. It's amazing, it can be performed with a thought, it's too convenient. Wait, at this time, Uzumaki Naruto was subconsciously looking down at himself. When he was talking, he saw his hands and his face suddenly changed. This is too ugly. Even though he didn't see his appearance, his body shape and the color of his body made Uzumaki Naruto's face green. Especially after seeing himself in the mirror placed on the counter, Uzumaki Naruto's mood was particularly distorted. No way, how can it be so ugly? This transformed turtle is too ugly. What's the use of such an ugly transformation technique? Don't be so depressed, Naruto. Linmo patted Uzumaki Naruto's shoulder and comforted him. This is a good disguise. When you use the transformation technique to transform into other people, there are still flaws. This thing has no flaws. It will be very convenient to steal chickens and dogs in the future. Uzumaki Naruto. Hearing Linmo's words, Uzumaki Naruto suddenly fell silent. What do you mean by convenient to steal chickens and dogs? Is he that kind of person? Alas, Uzumaki Naruto sighed and instantly cancelled his transformation. It's too bad that a jar can open such a thing. Shopkeeper, I'll go back first. Looking at the dark night outside, Uzumaki Naruto scratched his head and said, I'll go back and see how much money I have. I should be able to open another can. If I can't come tonight, I can only come tomorrow. I'll do it as soon as possible. Yeah, hearing Uzumaki Naruto's words, Linmo nodded. It doesn't matter whether you open a can today or tomorrow. If you open 10 cans a week, it will be calculated based on the time you open the first can in a week. When he ate ramen before, it was already evening. Now it's night. He wondered if Hyuga Hiyashi would bring someone to open the can. Okay. Hearing Linmo's words, Uzumaki Naruto nodded. He then said goodbye to Linmo and quickly left the can shop. Watching Uzumaki Naruto leave the can, Linmo's mind moved. Suddenly, the 10 things that Hyuga Hiyashi had opened before appeared in front of him. Linmo did not hesitate at all, and decisively reached out to touch the light ball representing the chakra of the Chunin first. In an instant, Linmo felt a strong chakra pouring into his body, making him feel full. Unfortunately, the amount is too small. Although he has become a Chunin, Linmo knows that even a Chunin is just a cannon fodder in the ninja world. The next second, Linmo continued to fuse the chakra of another genin and the training experience of the one-handed sword. After the fusion was completed, Linmo subconsciously shook his hands. He has mastered the skills of the one-handed sword. Continue. Linmo continued to pick up the sea-level ninjutsu scroll opened by Hinata Hiyashi. Gone, can't you just open a ninjutsu that can be mastered instantly? I still need to learn. And I don't know my chakra attribute at the moment, and I don't have a chakra test paper to test it. If you want to learn fire escape ninjutsu, you must have fire attribute chakra to be able to do it. Try it first. Looking at the great fireball ninjutsu scroll in front of him, Linmo sighed in his heart. Then he began to practice according to the above training method. If Hyuga Hiyashi opened a ninjutsu that could be mastered by fusion, then he could also master it instantly and skip the training step. Instead of learning according to the training method on the scroll like now. Still without knowing whether he had fire attribute chakra. When Linmo learned from the ninjutsu scroll and complained about Hyuga Hiyashi. On the other side, the Hyuga clan. In Hyuga Hiyashi's study. Hyuga Hiyashi, who had returned, looked at Hyuga Hanabi, who was floating in front of him with a bamboo dragonfly on her head, and was amazed. It really can fly. As soon as he came back, he tried this bamboo dragonfly on Hanabi. So far, Hanabi has a lot of fun. Haha, it's fun. I can fly. At this time, Hyuga Hanabi, who was wearing a bamboo dragonfly, was extremely excited. If it weren't for Hyuga Hiyashi's restraint, she would have flown out. Okay, it's time to stop. Looking at the excited Hinata Hanabi, Hinata Hiyashi said, just play in the study, it's not appropriate to expose this kind of thing now. Oh, hearing Hinata Hiyashi's words, Hinata Hanabi immediately fell to the ground and took off the bamboo dragonfly. She always obeyed her father's words. But when she handed it to Hinata Hiyashi, she asked with expectation, then the next step is to take us to open the can. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.